Hello, everyone, and welcome to the stream. My name is Lee. Human Vibes today. Sure, day is fine. Not a woman. I should have put the live and learn. Okay. I'm gonna do one thing real quick. In the meantime, why don't we have our people introduce themselves? Since they're here. Up we have Jeff, or Sigland, good friend. Say a little about you and your character. Well, I do this.
Hi there, my name's Jeff, as they just described me as. I'm playing a character named Johan Johansson the 45th, a former racketeer for a crime syndicate who narrowly escaped being tarred and feathered by his crime boss for seducing the man's young daughter, and has decided to make his escape into the deep reaches of space so that he can avoid that fate. He is taken on with a rogue trader so that he can hopefully make some money for himself and possibly garner himself enough fame so that the crime syndicate doesn't feel it's worth the effort to try to track him down.
Okay. And we have down, we have Mystery Cycle, also good friend.
Hi. I'm Mystery Cycle. My name's Devin. I respond to any pronoun. My character today is Magos Jin Kurosawa, also known as Cutter, who is an explorator of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They were prior to joining the machine cult of Mars, they were a highborn whose family was involved in the extraction of magnetic crystals. And during a fateful trip through the warp, the spacecraft that they were traveling on began to break up as it came back into real space, and Jin narrowly escaped being destroyed in the warp, thanks to the efforts of a tech adept. We managed to rescue them and a few survivors. And they were marked by that event so that they became kind of a zealot and joined the machine cult, leaving the decadent luxury of the Kurosawa family behind to become one with the machine spirit. Now they serve as a ship's explorator.
Yes. Let's see. And, yes, Nurse... Okay. There was a little bit of lore. But, so, the two of them are, of course, members of the crew of the Expectus Primus. So the Expectus Primus is a rogue trader ship, run by the Helmshell family, who is a network of powerful rogue traders. The youngest of whom is, not the youngest exactly, but one of whom is Captain Jarian Helmshell, who was put in charge, granted the extension on the warrant of trade, and put in charge of the Expectus Primus. So you two, we don't have her player, but the two of you are on the ship. It is a huge ship with a crew of, I think it was 26,000 plus another couple thousand of children of the crew members, infirm relatives, elders who don't work anymore. So like non-active people who are still on the ship, but the crew is 26,000. A lot of people on the ship. And they were recently on a planet called Growth, doing, which is our last one shot. They managed, certain members of the Kurosawa family went missing, and they contacted their cousin who was involved with a rogue trader. And at the same time, there was several recruitment efforts that were going missing. They had the rogue trader show up, and so they have recently escaped. They figured out it was Dark Eldar portal. They've possibly There were a bunch of mercenaries, possibly hired by a rogue. Sorry. There are other stuff going on behind the scenes too that you don't know about. I'm not going to tell you. Hired by a rival rogue trader family. They managed to defeat the mercenaries, figure out the nonsense with the portal, close it, and save the people of Gruff, for which everyone was very grateful. And they've since gone and done other things, gone into the warp, got involved with warp nonsense, and generally been doing rogue trader stuff. However, things are about to get interesting. So, Captain Helmshoel has been, you hear from your astropath, Finnick, the main astropath on the ship, that a message has come in. An astropathic message specifically directed at Captain Helmshoel and the Expectus Primus. Now, people send messages all the time, except this is from a planet called Raoh. Now, it's an agri-world, but it was a lot of the original settlement efforts were done by the rival rogue trader family. So they have, if they wanted rogue trader, they would have a much easier time connecting with them, and they didn't. Instead, they went and asked for aid from you. Now, the message is pretty garbled. It's, there's been some sort of plague. They think you might have a cure. Please come help them. So, you guys are going through the warp. We get to do the warp thing. We're doing the warp thing.
Excellent.
Okay.
Let's do the warp thing.
Yes. So, travel through the warp. So, Farina is going to make a roll. And the rest of you are going to... I'm going to find the chart. So, the way I do warp travel is there's a chart in Rogue Trader wherein you roll a D100, which I'm hoping you guys have a couple D100s because this is very important for the playing of this game. Okay, so you guys roll a D100, and things start to get wonky. So, hi! Not a time warp, a Imperium warp, but hi, welcome. Yes, it's not the time warp. It is the Immaterium, the space between. It's another dimension of emotions and thoughts, and and demons and dangers and warp storms and weirdness that can. It's not a time warp. You might end up on the planet Transylvania, though. Just saying. No, you won't. You won't. But you're going through the warp. So it is a realm of chaos, and chaos specifically that also includes the manifestation of the worst of humankind who want to corrupt and destroy humanity. So that's fun. Demons are a thing in the warp. So when you go through the warp, what happens is the navigator makes a roll. And usually, according to rules as written, what happens is the navigator's roll will change the roll on the warp table so that if you roll higher, you have a better chance of making it out unscathed. But with nothing happening. But that's kind of boring, and it's warp travel. So, Farina's going to make a roll, and it's going to determine how many weeks you spend in the warp. Traveling. Now, she's almost certain she can spit you out time, because time is wonky. She's almost certain she can spit you out, unless she critical fails the roll, and then all bets are off. And that will... Oh, that's what'll happen. Okay. But the... Basically, she's going to make the roll. That'll determine how long you're going to spend in the warp. Then the next step is how long you spend. Each week you spend in the warp, you guys have to make a roll on the table. And
Fun stuff.
yes, fun stuff. Okay, so Farron is going to make her roll. Okay, not bad. She's a pretty solid navigator. Let me check her stats, but I think that should be enough to get you back. Oh yeah, because she has the plus 10. Yeah, oh, that's definitely it. So it's only 2 weeks in the warp. Because it was 2 weeks, and then it would have been if she'd rolled 2 weeks in the warp. However, that means
Sounds
each of you.
reasonable.
Yes. She rolled well, 2 weeks in the warp, which means there are 2 random rolls. I'm going to have each of you make one. If one of you wants to go first, for the first week of travel.
Johan, do you want to go first?
Indeed, I've already rolled, and I rolled a 92.
Ooh.
And I have no idea if that's good or bad. But it sounds exciting.
Yeah.
It's the grimdark future. It's always bad.
No, some of them are neutral and not terrible. This one though. This one.
But not this time.
We're lost in the warp and
No.
new characters.
You're not lost. Farina rolled well. She knows what she's doing. So you're not lost. Here goes. I'm
sure the Vikings thought they weren't lost either.
Well, they didn't. They got where they need to go. So the first few days, nothing happens. I'm guessing Johan's involved in training. Dr. Magnos Kurosawa is, there's a couple patients. You are one of the known medical doctors on the ship, so you got them, a couple medical experiments going on, also, probably other sciencey stuff going on, and tech, and, there are a lot of explorators on the ship, actually, so you talk tech much.
How well, like, I know our characters have now, we had an adventure together, but I don't think we really knew each other before that. So
I said you'd been on the ship, I would say, for a couple of, like, a couple months to a couple years. You'd been on the ship for a while, so you guys would be. But, I don't know how much bonding you two did personally, but you've been on the same ship for quite a while, and you did get. So you would be aware of, I guess, Kurosawa's, their experiments, their place on the ship, and they would be aware that you're the new muscle / higher up commander muscle that the captain brought on someone with a little more skill in command to kind of supplement the ship's military processes. How much you guys know each other personally other than that is up to you.
Okay, well, that's what I was wondering. Like, after our mission, our last mission, did our two characters keep in contact? Like, I'm guessing with 26,000 people, even if we knew of each other, us running into each other, and it's like running into each other in a city, Or
that's
like
true. 26,000 is more like a small town, but yeah, that's true. So,
well, Cutter is effectively the department head of the tech, the mechanics, the Adeptus Mechanicus on the ship. So
yeah,
they're certainly easy to contact. And what was Johan's official designation? Their job?
They're one of the arch militants. So
one of the arch militants.
Yeah. Okay. So we have several kind of. That's kind of the main communication, kind of organizing things. But you got a couple other Zyle, and you got Johan and Johan Johansson, and a few others who kind of work underneath, kind of supervise the military training of your crew's standing army, which you have. If you need extra backup soldiers, you got a standing army.
Well, I think Cutter would probably have made a definite effort to keep in constant communication with Johan, because they would find that connection, that they would find Johan's position and access to troops and such useful. And also, Cutter is very, their personality is very sanguine. They're very outgoing and positive and very excited to be exploring and discovering. So I think that
Okay.
whatever Johan did, Cutter would definitely be trying to maintain our friendship and our our communication, keep our communication lines open.
Okay. Good to know. Because this.
What about the captain? Are we? Do we? Did she just like kind of like ignore us after that
No,
mission?
no,
Or
she's kind of. I mean, she's busy running the ship, but she'll pop in every once in a while, say hello,
okay.
kind of talk to you. You're kind of on the top tier of her leadership on the ship, so she's always mentioning hi. Well, she's keeping an eye on you.
But she better. Who knows what I'll get into without supervision.
D10 plus.
It's a
That's
big
good
ship. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yes.
I'm sure we don't need to bother the lady captain about some of these things.
Yeah. Well. Let's see. And they have.
So you had rolled. What was it you rolled?
92. So the first few days go off without a hitch. You've got a couple experiments running. You're doing troop training. Keeping an eye on things. That's interesting. This is gonna get. Okay. So, yeah. You guys, until. So you're running drills, and you come. Johansson, Commander Johansson, please, can you organize? And you recognize her. Her name's Katya. You think she's one of any number of kind of trainees in the various departments. One of the young people on the ship often gets drafted into sending messages. We have a problem, and
I know we're
please.
out of beer. You have any idea how frustrating it is to try to keep command of so many troops in a sober state of mind?
Yeah, okay,
Infuriating.
but there's deadly, maybe tech, can you find someone, tech people, someone, the servitors did the thing, and again, and they're starting killing people, and they got caught, Kedian, she's fine, they're like,
Take a breath, get yourself together, woman. We're running a official rogue trader ship here. We can't
right,
we can't just all walk around willy-nilly all crazy. You gotta give me some useful information. What?
the servitors,
There's a real problem here.
They did the possession thing. There's demons involved.
Ooh.
I think we're in the
Who did
warp. You know how that goes. It happened before, very rarely, but it has. And we need you to fight them off. To get one of the tech people to do the thing they did with the neck and the shutting them down. Can you do that? Organize the defense. Save my. She's trying to.
Okay,
She's not a soldier.
I have a little bead, right, that I can use to contact other
Yes.
people on the ship.
You do have a micro.
So as she's like rambling on, he's gonna put his finger up like, oh, hold on, talking to someone. Hey, Cutter, you busy? You may have a little problem that requires your expertise.
I am online. What do you require?
Apparently, if this trainee is to be trusted, we may have a possession going on down on the lower decks. And
Fascinating.
I may need your assistance with this.
Servitors. The servitors. Tell them it's the servitors.
She said something about servitors.
Servitors.
I don't know.
Ah, alas, the servitors. Very well, that merits investigation.
Well, shall we meet on the appropriate?
They're on deck 3, just under the where the little stair that goes down up to the behind with the I can show you. It's on deck 3 behind where the sewage line
You can
goes
show
down
me,
on
but I
the
need to
backside.
I need to let Cutter know where we are. You can show me, but I don't know where we are going.
Well, I'm trying to explain. We're going to the deck 3 behind the sewage pipe, on the side with the coils, the secondary the extender coils for the. Oh God! The extender coils are
Did you get
gonna
all that?
mess with the Geller
Did you
field.
get all that, Cutter? I tried to turn the volume up so you could hear. It's
Yes, affirmative. I believe I know the area of which they're speaking.
excellent. So I'll meet you there in a little bit. Do you need me to bring it? Do you have anything specific you would like me to bring?
Perhaps it would be wise to bring some armed troops in case we do need to perform a on-the-spot execution.
Okay.
Nurse Joy, please accompany me. And inform Magos Janfine that she will be in charge while I am away.
So who do I contact to get more troops?
Sergeant Verbank is Odette. Probably Odette and or Sergeant Verbank. She'll send Sergeant Verbank with a couple of her troops. Voice guns, right.
So, yeah, Johan will make the. Does he know how many? Like, is he experienced enough to know like approximately how many? It's just like, oh, we've done this before. I know, or my training manual.
You probably have. 10. They come in groups of 10 usually. So if you want to snag a group of 10, that would be a good starting point. It doesn't sound like there's too many of them, from what you gather. Just that they're really scary and maybe cut someone's leg off. And you probably have security troops in the area already trying to hold it off or barricade or something, hopefully, because if you don't...
all right, Cutter, I have a crew of 10 that will meet us there. We'll be there shortly.
Splendid. Praise the machine spirit.
Praise machine spirit? He's saying that to himself like, am I supposed to say that? Or that's just something that he's I'm not sure the how that works.
Real briefly, Cutter, as a member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, reveres an entity they call the Omnissiah, or the Machine God.
Yes.
Okay.
As a result of this, they have a lot of tension with the members of the ecclesiarchy aboard the ship who revere the God Emperor of mankind as the ultimate deity.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cutter
is ambivalent, or rather vague, in defining whether the Omnissiah is the same as the God Emperor or something different.
Yeah. Jarian, the captain, was actually raised by Priest the Omnissiah of the branch that is high core on board with the Omnissiah as Emperor theory. But the Tech Priests of Mars are the only other religion that is allowed to exist other than the Emperor of Mankind. Because they maintain all of them, like placate the machine spirits and maintain all of the tech. And if you don't placate the machine spirits, your tech doesn't work. And then there's a lot. Also, you would know servitors. You would, Cutter would know especially, but also Johan would probably know a little bit. They're basically corpses of recently killed, usually executed criminals, whose brains have been like hijacked because artificial intelligence is very illegal, thanks to the Iron Man uprising that happened right when the Dark Age of technology was ending. But there's a workaround where if you use a human brain and kind of poke and prod it into doing what you want, like if you use a neural network that used to be a human, you're square. So servitors are kind of the workaround. They do basic maintenance tasks, clean up, anything that needs doing, really. Anything that's too dangerous to rope a low-level member of the crew into. And they...
So we're doing some very exciting things involving cloning.
Yes. Cloning, yes. There is that. But I actually tried cloning 2 of them. It sort of worked. They seem to be relatively close to what the servitor was in life.
I am confident that after a few more hundred bodies, we may be able to perfect the process and create servitors that don't require criminals.
There you go.
Well, so are you able to clone me so that I can get more time off? This ship's captain keeps making me work.
Theoretically, yes, though there are, I must point out, a number of ethical concerns and a lot of paperwork that would need to be filled out before that could happen. But I am intrigued by the possibility.
Yes.
Well,
Also,
I
just
know a
like
person who does paperwork.
you actually do have well, specialists,
Yeah.
bureaucratic
I
specialists,
didn't
at least
say
one on
legal
board.
paperwork. I just
But
said I know a person who does paperwork.
but help, hurry! Kaji's getting more and more panicked. Her sister's leg is cut off.
No. Good lady. And he does like a really dramatic pause. Good lady. Just to make her more agitated. Rushing into a situation all excited is a good way to lose your head, as you're more likely to be more focused on your dilemma, on your own personal worries than you are about the situation. You just calm yourself. Calm yourself. Come on. Take a deep breath. You can do it.
Please.
Breathe. Breathe out.
You have
Breathe
soldiers
in.
though that can stop these things.
Yep, and they're already on their way, and we'll meet them. The situation is going to be resolved shortly. Now, calm yourself.
Okay, come. Kaji's legs
And
is
then
bleeding
after
out.
she-
and
after
we're
she
gonna be
does that,
calm about this. We're gonna be calm about this. We're gonna be calm about this. We're gonna be calm about this. Also, they killed Alec. I know you don't care about Alec, but they killed him. And please,
Girl, I fought Dark Elder and lived. I'm not worried about some demons taking over people.
please. You know, this has happened once before. The servitor did get possessed, and they're powerful, and they have tool attachments that can be used as weapons, and it is not fun to deal with them. There's a lot of bloodshed, they take a lot of punishment, but if you know what you're doing, if you get a headshot or know what you're doing, you can shut them down, but it requires someone who has a really solid knowledge of machine spirits on how to pull the right combo of things to make it work. Someone who understands machine spirits has to do this, has to get it right, which is why you...
I was like, wherever will we find a person like that?
But just kind of... so you, I'm guessing, have sent out for Sergeant Verbank and her squad specifically?
Sure.
Because she was the one you got to last time, and I had notes on some of her people. Because, you know...
And we barely got any of them killed last time, so they're probably happy.
I think you got one killed, but another one was saved by Dr. Kurosawa, so they are grateful. And yes, so she's calling them in. They're coming through. You're going down there. Okay, as you head down, you notice that a couple of enterprising have gotten these moved up sandbags around the area, but they've been slashed. They're trying to put bulwarks, trying to create a barricade. There's a lot of blood.
Jeff, if you're in the Discord, I just put in a picture of a typical servitor.
Oh, so
yeah, I took a look.
Okay.
I've got the Warhammer 40K wiki out, so I've got some information.
Yes, except, well, it does look an awful lot like that. It's got the limbs have been replaced by tools.
Yeah, there are many different kinds of servitors.
Yes.
Yeah, Katja, I hate dealing with these servitors. They rarely wear shoes.
But you can't shoot. Does it matter? Are shoes important?
Yes, it matters. Shoes complete your outfit. If you don't wear shoes, how can you give yourself a respectable presentation?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that's important, but my sister, please. They've only gotten the stump. One of the medics.
Wait, your sister's a servitor?
No, but she might become one if you don't hurry.
Well, I thought it was good to be a servitor, wasn't it?
I mean, you have to die first. And please, I don't want my sister to die. Please.
So on the ship, how used to people dying are we? Is it like
No,
something
people
that
do die. There's
Okay. That's what I was
yeah.
gonna say. Is Johan being in command really like surprised when people die, or
No, I mean, there's
I'm sure he's
always.
like,
I mean, there's
uh,
warp. Travel through warp is dangerous. You lose a couple every months. Like this is a thing. People die frequently on the ship.
but he supposes he should care because he vaguely knows her.
Well, I mean, you're in charge of the ship. If people die under your command, it's maybe your fault.
Wait, whoa,
He's
whoa,
kinda...
whoa! It reflects poorly on me. Well, that you should have led with that. Yes, we need to go save your sister right now.
Yeah,
Let's get on that.
please. And she's kind of practically dragging you at this point toward a ladder. You're up on the top deck is where you guys have your quarters, and the training decks are the deck below. And then the third one is there are 6 decks total. Third one's kind of mid-level. A lot of crew quarters for not so lesser crew members. A lot of them are in the 4th, and the 5th and the 6th are purely maintenance. The 6th level contains the Geller Field generator, and the engine room's kind of between the 5th and the 6th. It takes up 2, but the Geller, you do not want bad things to happen to the Geller Field. Just saying, that would be bad. Luckily, this guy's nowhere near it, but he's near one of the extension coils, so if things go bad, that's a possibility. You hurry down, and you can as you coming down, you hear the troops are you can see them rushing ahead in formation, moving down. As you come there, you hear screaming and the sound of blast fire, possibly something. It's not effective, whatever it is, and this is whoever's wielding the las gun is not very good at it, but they're trying anyway because Emperor knows they need to do something. So they've barricaded.
So I'll pull up my bolt pistols just in case.
Yes, you should probably have bolt pistols. That is a useful thing that you should probably have. I'm guessing you carry them at all times.
Yeah, but I'm saying I have them out now. I have them in my hand,
you have them
so
drawn.
I don't have to. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna look around for Cutter. Is he here yet?
I mean, the med bay is on. It's actually on the 3rd deck, but toward the other end of the ship. So, you guys are going down. He's going that way.
We are en route
Yes.
to rendezvous with you.
All right.
I do have my Hellgun handy,
Good.
and Nurse Joy is accompanying me.
Oh, excellent. Be careful. We're already experiencing blast fire.
Understood.
You kind of hear it. You also hear a sound.
Does
Definitely
that
not
mean anything to me?
a sound you want to be hearing.
That is. What is that?
Sort of like a chain, a saw, almost. Revolving saw blade.
Oh, dear.
That can't be good. Can I see what has the saw blade?
Yeah, as you come forward, you see hastily erected scrap metal trying to hold back, and you see it getting pushed a little bit. You see a couple of young trainees are here. A couple of workers are they've got a couple las guns and they're just trying to shoot, but none of them can see what they're doing. They're just kind of blindly firing over the barricade, trying not to be too near it. They have the las guns over their head and they're shooting into that, which is not a good way to actually hit anything, but is they don't want to risk, because they're like barricades up to here. They're kind of firing over it.
Can my bolt pistol shoot through the barricade? Like how
Probably
thick
not.
is the barricade? Okay.
It's metal, and you could try it, and you could probably shoot a hole in it, maybe, but you can't aim without seeing what you're aiming at. So
Okay, so I will try to get into a better position so that I can survey what is going on better.
So if you go around, you'll see that they've only barricaded the front. There's a little part behind where they haven't barricaded yet, and it's going toward the barricade. Basically, they're trying to lure it toward where they can contain it. It's kind of working, honestly. And you see a young woman who looks a lot like Katya. Only her leg is bleeding, and someone's tried cauterizing it with a las gun, and it sort of worked. It's not bleeding as much now, so they cut off the worst of the femoral. It's still oozing through a little bit, but they did manage to cut it, get it so that she's not going to bleed out within the next hour. Leg wounds, I don't know if either of you know, but there's a lot of arteries in the leg, and if you cut them wrong, you can bleed out very fast. And she's definitely in a crazy state. She's pale. She's probably going into shock. But she's alive for now.
As I'm walking forward, I'll stop at her. Say, not young lass. One of our top surgeons is on the way to be able to help you out. Now, I'm going to take a quick look at the wound. Would I, with my unofficial medical knowledge, think that she's going to make it?
Roll. This is the first roll. Do you have any kind of Medicaid as a trained skill?
I'm guessing not. I'm not seeing any medical.
All right. So I would say a basic intelligence check at half. So take half your intelligence and roll.
No. Well, this will be good. Yeah, I failed. We're on 55.
She's definitely not looking so good. There's definitely not healthy. But she doesn't look like she's gonna die, maybe? I mean, she's conscious. That's a good sign, right? She's conscious, so that's definitely a tier above unconscious. And, tier above unconscious, and, she's not dead yet. So, but she's definitely not healthy. Somewhere in between, maybe?
So she's a civilian on the ship?
Yeah, a civilian, probably has, like, a menial job assisting someone. Right. She's old enough that she probably does, but she's...
And is she like a child, or is she like an adult?
She's like 17-ish, so she's, not a child, but certainly young, and, not particularly trained in anything specialized.
Johann, being his typical Johann self, like, don't worry, we're going to keep you alive. I need to make sure you grow up just as fine as your sister.
She kind of,
he's ridiculous.
Tanya, Tanya, and she said
she's right behind us. You're right there.
And who knows? For Katya is a lot younger.
Do you see a light? Don't go in the light. Stay out of the tunnel.
Yes, Focus. Katya is younger sister, so definitely teenager.
Wait, Katya's younger than the sister?
Yes.
Oh, never mind.
She does. They do have older sister. They do have an older sister who, depending on how Johann's gotten around the crew, he may have had some with, but
well, he's not hitting on younger girls.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I should hope not, but They do have an older sister who's like 20, and she is good looking. And Johann would,
Excellent.
depending on how well he knows the crew and how many good looking women on the crew there are, which I'm thinking Johann would be at least cognizantly aware of the better looking members of the crew.
He would, but he doesn't have time for that. He's got servitors to take care of.
Yes. Now she thinks her older sister's around because you said that. Now,
I thought she accompanied me, didn't she?
Katya, yes, but she thinks the older sister's around too because you said that, and he's.
Oh, right. Okay.
And she's panicking and blood loss, and Katya's just curled in, like grabs her and just hugs her in, and just like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine, Tanya. No, she's not here. She's not here. It's fine.
Do you think you could move her like away from the barricade?
And she starts pulling her back as best she can. She's not directly in front of. There's a little bit of area, but Katya kind of pulls her back a little bit.
Better may need some room to work here, and right in the middle of a battle, in the middle of possible.
This is what we can do. I have a plan for this. If you look on the stream, you should be able to see. Oh, I put it under the. Okay. I'm gonna bring this up a little. Up a little more. That's useless. There we go. And there should be a map of sorts. Yeah, I'll put it so it covers me. Ta-da! That's a blank canvas. Now, but it will be a map in a minute. So essentially, you got barricade, crazy possessed servitor here, kind of clawing at it. You have civilians, panicked. No, nothing that big. Not that big, but you got it's like panicked civilians trying to shoot over. You got Katya kind of Kedian kind of here. The barricade is kind of there's like a this area is kind of a the wall. Yeah, you got the wall here. Barricade there. Katya here. Then you got so you have and there's a lot of blood. Mangled. You got a mangled corpse here. There's a lot of blood just everywhere. So you got a couple more injured people over here that got pulled out, who may or may not be. And then basically anyone who has healthy is kind of firing in. And you would be what color do you want?
Blue.
I'm gonna put you on the map a little just for now. I'm gonna make you green. You're there.
Okay.
And then you kind of come in. Cutter, you come in. And you just see them as they come in, with Nurse Joy bobbing along behind. And you see this whole mess. You see them firing in. You hear the rev. You're like, oh, one of those servitors. They have this cutting knife. The other hand is a screwdriver. And it's hacking away at the barricade. These guys are pushing it in, trying to do something. Half of them are holding it in. Half of them are taking pot shots. And then Sergeant Bembank and her crew are right around here. Just like troops, they're coming in, falling behind, in formation. So you kind of see past them to this whole hot mess of nonsense.
Can I go to the left side and shoot at the servitor?
Yeah, you can go around. So I think this is when we start initiative. Oh, hey, we got raided into by you. Okay. But yes, the Oh, that's what he looks like. Or that's what they look like. Cool. That's what they look like. All right. Wow, that's actually a really good drawing. Okay, focus. Focus. Yeah. So you initiative. Everyone takes D10 and add your
Agility bonus.
yes, agility bonus, which is the 10th digit on your agility score. Oh, okay.
Huzzah.
Yes, okay. That's a thing.
I have rolled a 9, giving me an initiative of 12.
Okay, you're lucky because the servitor also rolled a 9.
Oh, good. Exciting.
10. He's
Okay.
getting initiative of 11 because she's like 21 agility. Actually, probably less, so probably only gets a 10. Servitors are not known for being agile. What did you get, Johan?
I rolled a 7, and I have a 37 agility, so that'll be a 10 normally, right?
Okay, you have higher agility, so you're both going before.
But since I'm a wary individual, I get a +1 on my initiatives.
Okay, so you got an 11.
Excellent.
Yeah, so you get to go first. So
Oh,
you're about where that little green X is. They're bringing Katja back a little bit, so she's more kind of off.
okay. I'm going to go to the side and try a single headshot on that guy. I'm going to focus.
So you're aiming for the head.
Because we got to hit them in the head, right? That's what you said.
It helps to hit them in the head. They're more vulnerable there. You can kind of see the body is a lot of metal plating.
Yeah, so I'll aim for the head.
Okay. Yeah, going for the head. Okay. I would say it would impose a -20 penalty because you're going for a specific body part.
Sure. Okay. Now, do I have what am I using for that stat? What
It would be ballistics.
Okay.
And you would get. Are you going to take? Well, no, you'd have to move. Hang on. So, to get into position, you would have to move. You can move a number of meters up to. So that's a half action to move. And you are about here, I would say.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm going far.
No, but you only get 3 meters of movement per. But moving is a half action. You can move up to 3 meters as a half action. If you want to move like 6 meters, that's a full action.
Well, okay, so I moved a half action. So, what does Nerves of Steel do? Because that's what I have. That's
Nerves of Steel. If they were shooting at you, I will bring up the rulebook, but it does, and yeah, I know I haven't put it. Yes, so Nerves of Steel. It gives you talents in terms of resisting fear.
Oh,
so,
okay, never mind then.
Yeah, it doesn't make you better at shooting, but if it tries to shoot back, you'd be resistant to, say, getting pinned. If they were just spraying auto fire at you. I'll double check, but
Ooh, I rolled a 17 on my dice.
that is definitely enough to hit, even with a -20. So, what's your if you're at least 37, you should hit. Oh, plus you get a +10 because it's close range. Because you're not.
My ballistics is a 48.
Yeah, and with the close range bonus of 10, that definitely hits. Okay, and because it was a headshot. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Shoot. So roll. I believe the bolt pistol is 2d10 plus 4. Something ridiculous like that.
All right, then. See what I got here. I got a 5, And another 5, so 14.
Okay, 14. Okay, and he only has... Oh, no, he has no armor, so the toughness bonus is... So that's 14. That's... Yeesh. Okay. He staggers back. He definitely is not... Because he doesn't have any armor. You get his attention, and half his skull is missing. Large chunk of his skull is falling off. There's a lot of... He's... And then he also kind of spins.
Okay, so when Johan goes around the corner, sees the servitor, and looks confidently and aims and shoots him in the head, and like after he sees that he did a headshot, he blows in blows on the end of the gun, like, oh, that was easy, and then the thing gets back up. He's like, oh, dude.
Yeah. So I mixed up the initiative order. Kurosawa, you, Cutter is next. What do you want them to do?
All right, so I have noticed a rather embarrassing either omission or gap on my character sheet, and so I want to double check with you. I do not appear to have a Medica skill.
Oh.
Or at least...
I would say I would give you a +10. I probably mixed up that.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that was okay.
Absolutely. You would get a +10 and full intelligence bonus on that. I'll change it up.
I will make a note of that then.
Yeah.
Soldiers, to me, we got one. Over here. He's kind of angry.
All right.
Nurse Joy, please assist me in administering first aid to our fallen faithful soldier.
And so you're running, and you do see also there's a couple other injured people over here. But you're about Katya is the one who's probably closest. And given that it's you only get 3 meters as a half action, and the Medicaid test would be hang on.
That'd be a full action, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Since it requires my concentration and attention. So.
Yes, I believe so. Yes. So.
Okay. So if I can amend what I'd like to do, I would like to I'm going to attend to Katya personally, and then I will send Nurse Joy to go and diagnose the other wounded.
Yeah. All right. So she heads off and she starts going that way. That's not even a half action to kind of gesture to her and tell her, go deal with them. And so, and she just starts streaming off. For those who don't know, Nurse Joy is a skull, fitted out with a servo skull. Yeah, with a cogitator and a personal assistant, familiar, just a general helpful little skull.
And she has a wonderful bedside manner.
So she's gonna head off and do that while okay. Crit tables. Yes. So the yeah. So she's gonna run to do that, and while she's doing that, okay, equal to less than. All right. So he's technically. Okay, yes, so she's probably already down that. In the meantime, because she doesn't have much anything, so she's running off to deal with them. You are you gonna go closer to Katya? Run as well?
I'm gonna go. Like I said, I'm gonna go over to Katya and tend to her first.
All right, so I'm gonna put you here, and we're gonna go here, and I didn't roll for we're gonna put all of the soldiers on Yeah, okay, so they have, that's 30. I'm going to roll them an initiative. Yeah, they're all on her. I have stats, so 6. Okay, so they go after the servitor, who is now going to start moving. And you just shot at it, and it is angry. So it's going to start, let's see, moving toward you. That's its goal. I can just do this and that, and then we can should be able to if we know what we're, yeah, there we go. Okay, it's gonna go, so it can't go very far, so it's gonna go here and up here, but it takes a full action, yeah, because it can only go 2 meters. It's gonna get here. It starts lumbering forward. It's got a very low agility, so it can't really go more than a meter per action. So it's just going to start lumbering towards you, and it's going to get about here. And be wielding. You notice one arm is like a cutter. I saw meant to cut through bulkheads. Probably not feel so good on flesh. The other one is like a pokey, like a screwdriver of some sort. Attachment, and you can see its eyes. Its eyes are glowing this bright warp color. The warp has a sort of color to it, usually pinkish purple, but there is a very unmistakable, like you cannot recreate this color with any pigment known to humankind, at least known to humankind that aren't involved with chaos. Like this is a very distinctive. And its eyes are glowy and warpy and just like, yep, nope, that's warp glow. This is demon bad, instinctively just not like a thing.
It's like Octarine from the Discworld books.
Yes, something like that.
A different color.
Yeah. And you, oh, okay, yeah. So it's going to just move, and then your people are going to come bursting in, because they are, they're going to come running in, up, here, and then we're going to try this again to make it closer to here, and they're going to be about here. They're going to come in behind you, and, they do get a volley off, but they're not aiming. So it's going to be, well, they're pretty close. Yeah, they're close range because they're right behind you. So they're going to get firing into melee. Well, no, you're not in melee. So you're not actually in melee because you're using a ranged weapon. So that doesn't give them but they get plus 10 for close range, and they don't get anything else. And their ballistic skill is, yeah, not great. So we're gonna give them, I'm gonna get 5, yeah, 1, 2, yeah, and each of these represents, oh, right, they have to roll to hit first. So, right, which means we need percentiles. Okay, 2%, yeah. We need multiple percentiles. 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, we can get 5 percentile sets. 5 percentile sets. Okay, 34 hits. No, that definitely doesn't hit. That's lucky it didn't jam. Also doesn't hit because it's only that hits. Okay, so 2 of them hit, and 56. No. Okay, so 2 of them hit. And they each have a las gun, so D, D, okay, and then she can roll separately. Yeah, that's not going to hit. So, 4 of the soldiers do manage to hit, and they have not particularly powerful anything. They have a 1d10 las guns, so that's 4d10 plus, 4d10 plus 10. Las.
That sounds like a respectable amount of damage.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna
5,
say,
well,
I
yes,
only have-
but, that's 10,
Like, I only have 13 wounds, right?
it gets modified, by the, so it's automatically down, by 5 per, so, okay, so it's down by, because it takes each bolt, he gets that, and, so that's, okay, so it's all 10, okay, so that's, 9 plus 19, 23. 5 is 2. Okay, so that's, so even with his toughness bonus, that's just going way down, and because each one is down by 5 because of the toughness bonus, or down by a certain amount because of his toughness bonus, and then so I tallied that all together, and which instead of doing all individual shots, I just multiplied out by 4, and that's down to that, and that is plus. So it depends on where they hit. We're gonna roll. Actually, no. The to hit tables are up here. Somewhere around there. Where the damage goes. I should have had this set out ahead of time, but we.
No worries. I think I have it should be on the screen. I'll bring up a copy.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I got a big package deal long ago from Humble Bundle.
Oh. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's, so you swap them out, and, so that's 20, so that's, 50, which would be a body shot. Not good. Also a body shot. But one of them is in his leg. So 2 of them hit the leg. So I would say he takes 2 of them hit 3 each. So that's 2 go in the so 2 go in the leg. So he takes a bit of damage because some of them go in the leg, and the leg doesn't have a lot of armor. The other 2 bounce off the body, and because he has such high armor in his body, that isn't helping. But he does take a little bit of damage. And, you definitely see the leg is twitching. There's a shot, one of them shoots in the foot, and you can see his, the bonus. So, yeah, it does hurt him a little bit, but not as much as you'd hoped, given his, all of that.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So this guy has taken what, like 30, like roughly 25 to 30 damage?
Yes. And some of that was head.
How much am I supposed to have?
Do you not have your wounds?
I do, but it's like I only have 13. Am I only supposed to have like 13?
Yeah. So, but every time you get hit, it goes down by your toughness bonus and by any armor you're wearing. The armor takes off. And I'm guessing you're wearing your armor.
Mm-hmm.
So that,
Okay. Do I have armor? I do.
Yes.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
I have a void suit and an enforcer light carapace
That's
armor.
the Enforcer Light Carapace. That's your go-to. So that would
And
be yeah, the Enforcer Light Carapace takes off. So every time you get hit, it goes down by your toughness bonus, which is what's your toughness?
39.
So it goes down by 3 automatically, and armor Enforcer Light Carapace gives you I believe there's a chart. Here we go. So unless it hits, Enforcer Light Carapace gives you 5 armor points. So it goes down by 8 every time you get hit, essentially.
So what does Sound Constitution do?
That gives you an extra wound.
That one?
Yeah, so you have 1 extra wound.
Okay, great.
But
So
yeah,
I
it
now
goes
have
down by
this
8
lumbering-
every time you're hit, because of you're wearing good armor
So
and are reasonably tough.
since I'm dual wielding these bolt pistols, since I've got ambidexterity, does that affect my rolls any if I fire both of them at the same time?
The problem is you can only attack once per turn, even if you have 2 half actions. However, if something happens to your right hand, I think they're, yeah, you can still only attack once per turn.
Okay, so why am I? Okay,
I don't know why you're dual wielding them. Other
'Cause it
than
looks cool.
reloading, it
You know,
does.
blam, blam, blam.
Yeah, it does cut down on reload time.
okay. Well, I guess am I up again then?
Yes. I guess technically, Cutter's first in the initiative.
Oh, okay.
So,
So shall I go ahead and make my first aid roll?
yes, go for it.
So yes, I'm kneeling down next to, what was her name, Katya?
Gotcha.
So I
Ketty.
kneel down.
Sorry.
I'm
Ketty
sorry?
and her sister. Katya's the one who's kind of... She's clinging to him. Her
Okay.
sister's, like, over her sister's shoulders.
Etienne?
Dr. Kurosawa. Well, hi.
Be at peace, soldier. I am here to assist you. Bear in mind, as I examine your wounds, that pain is naught but data. And data, under some circumstances, may be safely ignored.
Yeah. Emperor. Holy Emperor. Pain. Yes, pain is good for the Emperor. He approves. Yes. All the saints. Yes, I know. Pain is holy.
And I think I probably got a lousy roll.
All right.
Let's see, I rolled a 12.
On your
plus,
D100? No, it's
yes,
down.
on my-
You want to roll under.
Oh, you want to roll under? Oh,
Yes,
in that case,
so-
I rolled very well.
Yeah, so it's based on intelligence. So what's your... how many degrees of success?
My intelligence is 40, and then for my Medica skill,
It's plus 10.
plus 10%.
So 50, so 12 minus 50. Okay, so you get 4 degrees of success.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that actually does help her a lot, having extra degrees of success, especially because she's taken basically critical damage. Because she does not have a lot of wounds and no armor.
Okay. Now, according to the rulebook, it says for heavily or critically damaged characters, it heals 1 damage point.
Yes.
And I don't know how that is affected by degrees of success.
Let me check that. So healing, degrees of success. Healing would be up here. Healing. Here we go. Let's see. Medicaid, let's see. Of course, it's over in another part of the book. I believe I don't think you get per degrees of success. No. Removes damage equal to the explorer's intelligence bonus for lightly damaged, or 1 for heavily or critically damaged. Yep. So she is 1 wound, and she won't get any worse, which is the main thing.
Yeah, this is only first aid. It's not like surgery or anything. So
yeah.
I'm just stabilizing her.
Yes, she is stable.
As I work very quickly to bind the wound, stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Put some sort of a salve on the skin, I imagine, to seal a wound.
Yes, and you can seal it off, and you can have basically liquid skin, but like a more advanced version, like kind of slub it over, and then which and a little clotting factor in there. So she's you could give her a pain booster if you want. You do have painkillers, little spray bottles of opioids that you can deliver as needed.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and administer it. I mean, I'm on board ship, so presumably our stock is
there's
good here.
A good amount. You're not worried about running out anytime soon.
Sure. I'll go ahead and administer an opioid.
And she kind of leans back and starts breathing better a little bit as the pain meds start taking.
Blessings of the Omnissiah upon you. You have served well this day. Rest now.
Omnissiah. Thank the Emperor. Okay. And that's you. So she's doing better and not in danger of dying, which is good. Johann, this thing is up in your face. And you do get a plus 30 to hit because it is extremely close range, like point blank.
Sure. Okay, so that would mean if I have
so especially if you'd take half an action to aim, that's another plus 10.
Okay, so I would have 48 plus 10 would be 58, and then plus 30?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then to hit it in the head, that's a negative.
Right. 20, if you're aiming specifically for the head, that's a minus 20. So we do plus 30 altogether.
60, so I need 68.
Okay. Roll.
I roll 2 dice and both of them end up going right in the correct.
All right.
Oh, well, hey, it doesn't matter. I rolled a 17. No, that's 17.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. That's another headshot. And it's down a little bit because of the thing, and it's no armor, so it's just toughness taken off.
And I blasted it in the head before, too. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 2d10 plus 4?
2d10 plus 4.
Okay, so keeping on my average, I rolled a 7 and a 4, so 11, 15 points of damage.
15 minus that is, yeah, you take it down. And you see it's still twitching. And you can see that its neck.
Okay.
There's a button, like a intricate series of like, and if you knew what you were doing, you could pull the there's a kill switch in there somewhere that you could quickly pull if you knew what you were doing.
I will make a call and say, Dr. Kursara, I have incapacitated one of these servitors. Do you need to inspect it?
Yes, that would be prudent.
All right.
And I will scan to see that I don't have any more running up at me.
You do hear like a zzz, 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 keep going. And you notice that there's a second one. It's cutting through the wall, the bulkhead. It was behind the bulkhead doing maintenance, and it's just trying to cut through.
Okay.
So that gives you a turn or two. It would It's about halfway there. It's going to take 2 turns to get out, but you know it's coming. What you do
Okay,
about
well,
that is up to you.
I'll motion for one of our guardsmen to pull the servitor behind the wall, behind the barricade, to the doctor,
Yep.
and
Okay.
then I'll position the other 9 to form a firing squad in front of where it's going to emerge,
All right. So they kind of form
and
up.
then I'll be behind them, looking for more, see if any others are on the way.
Okay. Um. Roll an awareness test. So it's your perception and plus 10 if you have it as a skill, which I believe you do as an arch militant.
It's my perception, which is at 43, and
Do you have awareness as a?
I'm looking now. Identity, perception, common, traits. I have. No, I'm not seeing it.
All right. So you don't necessarily have awareness, but you can roll a perception.
43. All right. Wow. I am on fire. I rolled a 09.
9. Oh yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. So you hear something moving.
AFK guys, I'm going to Vegas. I'll be back in a little bit.
Apparently.
Yeah. No, you hear a movement behind the wall. Something is moving, and it sounds like you know that it's probably another one, and it's probably going somewhere. It's got some plan.
Okay, so I have one coming through the wall, and one going around the wall.
Yeah, it's going somewhere along in the maintenance behind the bulkhead. To
Okay, I'm going to use my bead and contact command and let them know to send another group
yeah.
down so that they can cut this one moving around. I let them know that it's heading towards where I think it's going.
Yeah. So Odette. Oh, right. Possessed servitor. You said.
Huh?
You said there was a possessed servitor, and it's headed. How many are there?
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were playing Ezra. I thought you were you were. Yes. We've already incapacitated one. We have another cutting through the bulkhead, which I have to take care of to make sure that it doesn't hurt all the civilians here. But there's another one moving around towards the maintenance level.
And you said you're deck 3 behind the. Oh. Okay. Go after that one.
I've got one like right in front of me.
Don't.
And I can't. Can I get
the guardsman can handle that?
Can I get to the other one? I mean, how do I get to the other one if there's a wall between us?
I don't know. Get there. Stop it. That one. Stop that one. Stop that one. If you go up the corridor around to the right, there should be a hatch that gets into this. That's probably where they got in the first place. Take that hatch. Stop it. Stop it before something worse happens. There's a component to the Gellerfield generator that's there. If it gets near there, if it damages that, if it's possessed, you do not want the Gellerfield to go down.
I have some bad news, Cutter. I have to leave and go take care of another problem. Hopefully, I'll leave you in charge of these fine military fellows here.
Of course.
Use
Please.
them at your discretion, but I would hate for this other servitor to disrupt the Gellerfield, which it seems intent on doing.
Yes, and you know that the Gellerfield
would indeed be catastrophic.
Yes.
I can say this from experience.
Yes. Gellerfields keep the warp at, like, mostly out. It projects a bubble of reality. It kind of is wonky if you're, things, like, slip through. But if the Gellerfields go down, you got demons. You got multiple demons coming in from all over the warp. You got... Everyone's gonna... It's gonna be bad. Like, you're not going to just get one or two wonky... It's going to get ugly. Oh, I'll move the soldiers...
Okay, as she's talking, I guess I'm moving towards where I need to go.
All right. Sergeant, move over here. Odette, yeah. So you're going... and you know around the corner of the hatch, you know what she's talking about. It's... you would say, yes, it's here, and then I just need to move you over here. Apparently taking a little wall with it. That's fine. So yeah, you would know that... Nope. Okay, you just look like this now. It's fine. You would know that... Here, I'll draw the rest of the map in. There's this. Around... Yeah. No, it's more... That. It's more this way. And the hatch she's talking about is... right here. That's what she's talking about when she says there's a hatch. And the Gellerfield generator is kind of right about here is where, and it's coming from this direction toward that, and you're going around toward this way. So, top of the round, you... Hang on. They're dealing with that. You go around and... Yeah, you're going around to the... Stop this one from dealing anything. And these guys are just going to have to hold off the other one with whatever they can. Also, Kurosawa, you would know that there's a switch. If you can get in without getting, murdered, you can just click it off automatically. Yeah, you just have to get in, and you can shut it down with your skill as a tech priest.
So basically, I have to get into close range, within grappling range of it.
Yep.
All right. Then that is what I intend to do.
Okay. It's going to take 2 turns. So if you go, basically you can be as close to, let's see, how far can you go in 2 turns? It's about 3 meters up, 3 meters, it's about 1, and then a bit, that's 2 would put you here, 3, that's another 6 would put you here, so, and then another 3. So in 2 turns you could get to here. I'll move you over. So in 2 turns you could get to here. And in 2 turns it's going to come through. We're going to bop that down. So, okay, this one's, I'm going to take this one off the map because it's dead. Yeah, take this one off the map because it's dead. Then you can move. So you want to go, you have essentially free reign to get wherever you want to go, essentially, within this area, because it's 2 turns to get through. Unless you want to take a turn to do more to Ketian, but she's stable, so she's not going to get any worse.
No, she's fine. I'm going to go ahead and move away from her, and I assume that Katya is staying with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So, I'm going to go ahead and start striding toward the servitor.
All right, so it's coming through, and in 2 turns it'll be through, so you can get wherever you want to go. It's coming through right about... It's going to come through right about here. No. Yeah. You know what? There. It's gonna come through right about in that gap. I'll put it in.
So it's cutting through the surface, or is it actually out of the open right now?
No, it's cutting. Well, 2 turns. So yeah, it's about just about like here. It's cut through. We're gonna skip 2 turns to where it's cut through. You're wherever you want to be, because you
Okay.
basically have enough movement to get wherever you want to go. Johan's over there, running presumably toward the next one to keep it from messing with the Geller fields.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I am going to. First of all, I would like to use my Air of Authority talent to address any troops that are nearby.
You have a whole mess of guardsmen kind of format as a firing squad. Anna and her people are just...
Okay. Let's see. According to this, I need to make a successful command test.
All right. That would be Fellowship. And if you don't have the skill, I'll let you roll High Fellowship because it's solid.
Okay, yeah, I don't have the skill, so it's
just Fellowship.
Yeah.
Not even half because it makes sense.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, we do need to go to Vegas. I got 12 on the dice.
Well, yeah, so you can make them do the... What do you need? It gives them a bonus, right?
It just says it affects a number of targets. I don't have any specific effect listed.
Yeah.
But I rolled a 3 plus my fellowship bonus of 5, so it affects 8 targets.
8 targets. Okay, yeah. So all of them are affected. I believe it... Oh, Air of Authority. Yep. Oh, that's... We have stuff going on in the background here.
Okay. So,
Sorry. Yeah, so Air of Authority talent. Basically, I think Air of Authority is... it's a talent, right? I believe Air of Authority is just... I don't know if it gives them any bonus. I think that's only Rogue Trader the class can do that, or the career path can do that. Talents. Talents. Here we go. Talent descriptions. Air of Authority. Yeah. Basically, basically you can just order them around. They'll do whatever you say.
All right. So,
yeah.
I am going to direct... Did Johann go off by himself to deal with the other...
unless you took any of them with you.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and command half of these troops to go after Johann. So I say...
Okay, you say follow. And you're one of the top people. They trust you, so they're going to start running. So we'll...
you will assist the arch-militant in preventing the servitor from breaching the hull.
All right.
Or the others. You will... cover me. I am going to grapple with the servitor personally. Should I fall, you must exterminate it in the name of the Emperor.
And they just said, yeah. Okay. Well, okay, it turned pink.
So
That's okay.
And then I'll go ahead and stride toward it.
So they're gonna start running. They're just gonna start running. So you're gonna go. I think it's a free action to try to convince them. So they're gonna. Okay, on their turn, they're going to start running. Meanwhile, you're going to go, if we slip back into initiative, how close would you have gotten to this little hole that was emerging?
I'm getting right up to it, because I need to get up into grappling distance to reach that kill switch, right?
Yep, you need to be right here. Yep, we're putting you there. And there's a wall there, but you're up against it, but... I'll throw in there's more wall here. If that makes sense.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So. Beautiful. Okay. There we go. So yeah, you're right up next to it. You're first. It's gonna go on the same initiative as the other two, so it's the other two, they're gonna go on the same initiative. So it's next. You get a turn, then Johann can keep moving faster for his turn, and then it gets a turn to try something. So what do you want to do? You're up there. You Air of Authority doesn't even take a half action, honestly. You just tell them go, 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 and they start going.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So once I stride up to this thing, I will extend my electrograph, thin metal extendable arm.
Oh, right.
To interface with its data port.
Okay, you're just gonna pop. Okay.
And try and trigger its kill switch that way.
Oh, you're gonna try to pop. All right. Okay. All right. This is. Yeah, you have a mechadendrite extension that you can just throw up.
Yes, it's hooked into my nervous system and just sort of extend out. And...
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. I know what that is. I believe it would be either a weapons or ballistics test to try to hit it.
Okay, if it's melee range, I'm assuming it would be weapons?
Yeah, weapon skill.
All right. Okay. In that situation, let's see. Reading my character sheet for a second here. Okay.
I will say...
I am reading over the entry from my Logus implant.
Okay.
This allows me to read possible outcomes and anticipate the movement of my opponent. It says, by using my reaction for the round, I can make a tech use test to make use of this talent, which would give me a bonus to my weapon skill test.
Okay. That's fair. And that means you can't dodge or parry if it shows up. If it
I
tries
think,
to...
given the circumstances, I'm willing to risk it.
Okay.
So, shall I make a tech use test?
Oh, right, to get the bonus. Yes. Make a tech use test. You're good at those.
Yes, I have that skill. That is based on my intelligence, which is 40.
There you go.
Oh my gosh! I got 15.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah, you
I have
got...
never rolled this good.
All right, you get a bonus to your...
Oh my gosh. Sweet!
All right.
So yeah, so that gives me a plus 10 bonus to my weapon skill to use this thing.
Okay, let's hope the weapon skill, you can keep the good luck going.
Yeah, I hope.
All right.
So should I roll for the weapon skill, or do you want me to wait?
Roll for it.
Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Weapon skill is 30. 38. But with my plus 10.
Right, 38, and you want to roll
there
under.
You go.
Yeah, so I should be able to. Just make.
Oh, and you rolled a 38, so it's 40. Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That was great.
Yeah. So you kind of pop the logic. You're like, okay, click. So you start clicking. Brain starts clicking. You know you can take the cogitator. You know the reaction. So you're like, okay, and then so as it twitches, you extend out, and Emperor, Omnisaya, everyone just is on your side, and just it clicks, and you hook the little data port, and you pull, and it there's a twitch, and you kind of pulls back, and it clicks, and it falls down, and as it falls, something you see the eyes go slack, and there's a screeching sound, like, and you can see, there's almost a face that manifests and then just blinks out of existence. Like the demon was trying to claw its way out and just failed. And is back in outside the Geller field in the proper warp proper, and yeah, it is.
Excellent. So I say a little invocation in Technolingua.
All right. And yeah.
Back to the warp with you, evil spirit. You will not prevail this day.
No, it will not. And the others are kind of run forward and kind of move forward to check. One of them kind of reaches down to check the pulse and then realizes that's not a thing you can do with servitors. And they kind of, two of them grab servitor and start hauling him back. The other kind of, Doc, can you, and kind of gestures. Their turn is all moving and trying to figure that out. Johan, it is your turn, and they are, you've been run this far, which is, so if you spend your whole turn moving, unless you want to do some sort of preparations, or are you gonna run the whole turn?
I'll just run. I mean, there's nothing I can really prep just until I get into range.
Okay. If you I think there is a run where you can get an extra, you can get 3 times your movement instead of 2 for a full action, but it will put you at, it will put anyone using you at advantage in,
I'm not trying to get that close to it. I'm trying to stay at range.
All right, so it will give you them plus, I think plus 20 on melee checks against you. So if it finds you, you're gonna regret that. But in terms of that, yeah, you can get, if you're gonna run.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get in melee range so that it can get to me in melee, because I know it takes at least 2 hits.
But it can move too. So you're get to here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to plan out to make sure that I don't run right up on it, because I know I'm going to need to shoot it at least twice, right?
Yes. So it's you can kind of see it in the hallway up ahead, but you've used your whole action for the round.
And does it have like drills or?
Yes,
or
it has a cut sort of like bolt cutters almost on its one hand, and a drill bit on the other. That's
now, if I targeted that, can I hit those instead of the head? Is it called shot?
Yes. They do have heavier armoring. I will say that, but
okay, but could I damage them enough with a shot so that they can't use them to cut machinery? I mean, it might not cut the arm off, but I'm not trying.
It would be
because remember that the bolt. I'm not trying to pierce its armor. I'm trying to pierce the hand.
Yes.
It probably doesn't have armor on it.
Yes, but it would be damaging metal instead of flesh. And how much metal can it take? Okay. I would say
like
yes.
Tool,
I'll allow it. And it will do damage toward making it useless. Depending on how much damage it does, that's how much how mangled it becomes, and whether it can use it or not. That will be
the whole goal is to stop it from affecting the field, right?
It should, yeah. It certainly would make it harder if it doesn't have the tools it needs. But you have to wait until next round.
Sure. Well, I mean, okay.
Because you spent the whole full round action to run and get as much movement as you did.
No, it's got its back to me too, so it doesn't know I'm coming, right? Because it's moving towards the field, and I'm coming from where it came from.
Right.
So.
It's gonna make an awareness. Now I have to figure out how high its perception is. Yeah, no. That's a 24. Probably has like a 10. Yeah, no, it probably can sneak past you. Or you're probably sneaking. It probably doesn't notice you. Yeah, especially if you're not, just heavy breathing. You're trying to, and footsteps. It can ignore those. Like, you'd have to actually shout to get its attention or fall but yeah, no, it's focused on the task at hand. It does not see you, so it's just gonna move. All
Do you
right,
get a bonus for shooting things from behind? Because I mean, I guess it shouldn't get its dodge or anything like that.
It definitely doesn't get a dodge.
dodge.
I would say, I don't know the rules exactly, but I'll give you a +5 for that.
Okay. Excellent. Every +5 helps.
Yes, it's gonna scooch. It's gonna go forward because it's its turn, and it's gonna go about that far because it can't go it's very slow.
Mm-hmm.
And if it hits the tip of the arrow, that's the Geller field generator. Although if it sees you, it's gonna start going. It might, depending on what. Oh, but it's a demon of.
Well, remember, I'm trying to keep distance between us because I know.
Yeah. Because you still got a +10. It's not point blank, but you still got a +10 on the shot because it's not very far. Okay. So that's its turn. Back to the top of round. You, are you doing anything other than flipping the switch? And are you gonna tell the guardsmen to go anywhere? Are you gonna, or the extra? Oh yeah, they're gonna take their turn, and because they were going after anyway, and they're just gonna keep running to follow. They're also gonna run, so they're about the same distance behind. They're about here. You have backup coming. It's just slower getting there.
I don't know that though, do I?
No, you wouldn't necessarily know that you had others following you. Top of the round, Cutter, do you want to do anything? You've successfully flipped the switch. Half the guardsmen are on their way. Half of them are just kind of milling around. One of them kind of tugs your arm and points to the other. The two inside the barricades there's no helping them. One of them has got his head, like half his face is missing right through the brain. I mean, you could try reconstructive surgery to put him, but that would be Servitor-esque. It wouldn't be able to save. There's a point beyond which only Fabius Bile could, and that's like reanimating the dead. That is hardcore heretic level of Major. So yeah, those two are hardcore dead.
Okay.
The other one is just a splat. But the other two, there's two others. Here. I can't ping, but there. That are marked in red. That are presumably, and one of the guardsmen kind of points. Can you maybe do something with them?
Of course. Nurse Joy, I want this fallen servitor taken back to the labs for analysis.
Yeah.
In the meantime, soldiers, you will go and assist the arch-militant. I will attend upon the wounded.
And then Nurse Joy kind of and kind of wraps one, and you see she's kind of tugging, or they are kind of tugging the. It's a slow process. It's gonna take time.
Sure.
Because Nurse Joy.
And if she has to delegate, that's fine. Just as long as somebody else is taking care of this, so I can focus on tasks at hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not a priority
so she's gonna kind of get one of the soldiers in there. So you got they're splitting up further. You got 5 of them here. Sergeant, as she sees Nurse Joy, she kind of sends one of her people to help getting the servitor back where it needs to go. So then she's going to come, and then they're going to start running to this gap, and they're going to get about... when they get turned, they're going to start moving as well. So, Johan, you are here. You got the bolter. You see this thing. It's going toward what you can kind of see as these wires, and you're like, that's attached to the Geller field, and you have been told that this is bad. I mean, you know Geller field breakdown is bad, but apparently if it cuts these particular wires, the Geller field is going to get wonky, and you do not want any more wonkiness in the Geller field. It's bad enough as it is going through the warp. You do not want anything more to happen.
You had mentioned to me earlier that I could also flip a switch. Do I know where that switch is?
You do, but you have to get into melee range with it.
Well, I guess I'll try to do that instead. And try to be quiet, sneak up on it as I'm moving forward.
Okay, you're going to try to sneak. Yes.
Of course.
All right, so you get...
Well, here's the thing, is if I fail my sneak, it's going to turn around and come after me, which means, again, it's not going towards the Geller field. So
right.
That's fine.
So it rolls a... it's going to roll a perception check.
Okay.
An awareness... Yeah, it's going to roll a awareness... No. So it gets minus... so you just have to do... Okay, it gets how many degrees of failure? So it gets 3 degrees of failure. So basically, I would say move silently is agility based. So I would say basic agility, basic agility test, and you'd have to have less than 3 degrees of failure, essentially, to successfully sneak.
Okay. We go wrong. You gotta be joking.
What?
Oh, I got a 0-7. Okay.
Okay, yeah, no, it does not see you coming.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you are
swear,
silent. Maybe not a
great. I
great...
need to play more Rogue Trader.
Apparently.
Yeah.
This is our game.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys, you get,
I thought it was dead there.
yeah. So you...
I was like, man, there's no way I'm pulling this off.
Yeah, no, you, yeah. So you
So
guys...
I'm able to sneak up and...
yeah, I would say it's close enough that you could take a half action and make a melee attack. Try to grapple it and grab the... yeah, so it would be a weapons test against... yeah, it's a weapons test.
Well, it's where we failed. Okay, so do I get any bonuses for being, it not seeing me coming?
Yeah, same with the +5 as,
So then it should... Do I have anything else that could help me out here? What do fate points do?
They allow... you can use one for a reroll. And you could use, you got a reroll, one reroll, or you can use one ahead of time to get you a +10 on the roll. But you can't use a reroll again after that.
Okay. And do you get your fate points back after time?
Yes, at the end of either one session or one day, depending on...
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say session.
I'll do the reroll, so...
Well, first roll to see if you can get it, but
right.
if you need a reroll, yes. But you can't use more than one per test.
Well...
And Jeff, I put a full description of what you can do with fate points into the Discord.
Okay, well, I would like to use a fate point then, because I got a 60.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh. Dang. Yeah, you can bump up the first initiative. Oh, right, the burning of them. That's the whole other...
Yeah, if things get really bad. That's basically just to save your own life.
I got a 59 in the second roll, too.
Okay, 59. What's your weapons test?
It's a 37 plus 5, so 42.
Yeah. Yeah, you grab it, and it kind of spins, and you grab for the neck, and you hook your arm around, but you can't quite reach the switch. So you basically
Okay.
have your hand on the shoulder,
Mhm.
and it's noticed you at this point because you're kind of grabbing at its shoulder, and it's right there, and it's the servitor's turn. Okay, so
Just hope that it doesn't roll as well as we have been.
possibly,
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna attack you. It's gonna wield its
Okay. Now, as a reminder, since I'm hanging from its back, is it able to reach me? I mean, it might be able to reach my hand that's around
it's
its
gonna
neck,
spin, and
but I would spin too because I'm on its back.
oh, okay. Wait, if you want to kind of grab it. I always thought you would just grab for the switch and claw it to fall down. If you wanted to try to get a permanent grip, that would be a grapple test, as opposed to just a quick grab.
Okay.
Did you want to do a grapple test, or did you want to just grab for it?
I thought I was going to grab it so that I could hold it still so that I could flip the switch. I didn't.
Okay, grapple is a whole separate. Let me bring that up. If you wanted to grapple it, I thought you were just going to try to grab for the switch.
No, because I mean, if it can turn around, then as long as I'm holding onto it, I can still keep making attempts. But
Yep, grappling
if I
is
fail
a whole
and it turned
thing.
around, then I'm kind of screwed.
Yep. Let me see if I can't check the grapple rules and tell you. So if you were trying to grapple it, I would say you would keep the rolls.
Well, if I failed to grapple it, then
Yeah. Yeah, you would have kept the rolls, and that would be. Grapple. Okay, there's a whole thing on grappling rolls, but yeah, if you failed your okay. Okay, grappling. The whole this whole grapple thing. Okay. Yeah, attempting grapple is melee attack using either chart or standard attack action. Makes a weapon skill test as normal. May use a reaction if available to avoid the attack. It doesn't need to because you failed the attack. You're not grappling it.
right.
You fall back
Okay.
down and it kind of spins. And it's going to, as you fail to grab it, it's going to shake it off and turn towards you. And it's going to use its clamp. So that's okay. Here we go. Ready? It is.
Okay, just let you know, I have a dodge. I don't know if that does anything. Or not, but
Yes,
it
you
says I
have a
did
dodge.
plus-
So what you can do is you can roll an agility test to try and avoid the attack. Basic agility, no bonuses.
I can do that now.
Yep, you have one more action per turn. So yes, you can
Oh,
roll
well,
a
I
dodge.
would definitely want to not get hit by the attack.
You could also roll a parry if you have a. Well, are you? No, you're not wielding a melee weapon. Never mind.
Nope, use my dodge.
All right.
Okay, so you said agility, right? So that's a 47 on my check.
Yeah. 47. What's your
And-
agility?
My agility is 37, so with the plus 10, it's a 47.
Because you have the skill dodge. You can.
Right.
All right.
You want to hear awesome?
Yeah.
Got a 46.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
just barely.
I was looking at it like, how 4?
Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
Yeah. So you pulled your arm back and you pull back and it it pinches your skin a little bit as it clumps, but you pull back and it you hear the click and you realize if it had gotten you, it would have been bad.
damage.
So, yeah, you hear it scrape against your armor, but you pull back quick enough that it doesn't do anything even against that. And that's its turn, essentially. Yeah, so it's going to do that. Top the round, these guys... Oh, and you also get more coming this way, and more... So these guys get... about here. So they're coming up behind you. They are firing into melee, which is going to complicate things for them, but yeah, they're behind here. And next round they'll be able to...
They're behind the field?
No, they're behind they're behind where the opening is, where the... they're essentially in the doorway, the maintenance hatch, or the maintenance doorway that you pulled open to go through to try to intercept the servitor. It's they're behind, essentially, where you came in.
Okay.
Yeah, and he actually would have been going the other way, but yeah, so he would have been coming closer to you, actually. But either way, you go past, they go here. They can start firing next turn. Half of these guys are going to go... They're going to run and get to here. And then the rest of them are going to play Helping Nurse Joy. So they're here. There are 5 of these guys here, and 4 behind as well. So, you know, you got backup coming, essentially. In the top of the round, it is Kurosawa's turn. So, what are they going to do?
Let's see. I guess I probably, since I've directed the other troops to go assist.
Yes, and you can. I didn't.
Militants.
Yeah, you would have been able to get up to half. So up to like 6 meters. What's your agility?
My agility is 32.
30, yeah, in the 30s, because of how that. So yeah, you would have been able to get, if you'd been going, you would have been able to get here, roughly.
Yeah, taking off.
If you'd moved as well as
right.
Trying to command them, which I'm guessing you would have.
Yeah, is commanding a free movement?
Free action. Yeah, it's
okay.
Yeah, just telling them.
So yeah.
It's talking.
So just directing them, and then I'm going to head over toward the wounded. So
all right, so that would have been last turn if you were doing that. So you have, you can get around to them with a half action move, and then you would have another half action to do, not first aid, but
right, because that would require a full action. So I don't know if there's anything else I necessarily need to do, except if I, you know what, I'll probably just go ahead. If there's anyone here who is not currently in the fighting.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch who were trying to hold the barricade together, although now they've kind of fallen back and let the barricade. So the barricade is now just dropped-ish.
Okay.
And instead of holding it actively, trying to make sure it's as the thing is battering against them, they're kind of letting them down and not shooting anymore because it stopped being a threat once actual soldiers showed up. So they're kind of milling around.
Okay. Well, I'll just indicate whoever's closest at hand, and you assist me, please, with the wounded. I will be tending to them. Make certain that they are restrained if necessary.
Okay. This guy, he's maybe 25, young, but enough to, old enough to hold he's youngish man. He's looks terrified, but he'll kneel down next to this guy and like at your there, he's just gonna kneel back, and so you have one helping you essentially if needed.
Have no fear. Your arch-militant is in charge of the situation, and I am here. There is nothing to fear. All will go as well as according to plan.
And you can see she's older, about 30 maybe, and life has not been kind to her, and she's just stuttering. Her leg has been sliced open a lot, but it is as you say that and pull this guy in and get over there, Johan. You're right up next to this thing.
Okay.
It is trying to kill you. You barely escaped the first time. It's got nasty looking weapons you're pretty sure are not gonna do you any good if they're applied. And you're right up in its grill.
So I'm guessing that I can't get to the switch now, right? Because it's
You
facing
could
me.
try another grapple, or grab a weapons test to try and grab or grapple or something.
That's not a great check.
No.
And I run around it and get behind my people.
Yeah. That would be a move. You could twist yourself around and it wouldn't even get an attack of opportunity. Yeah. You can maneuver yourself around.
Okay.
That would be a half action, and then so that you're
That's
not
what I will
in
do.
line
I
of.
will.
Right, so you're over here, so they have proper line of fire, and you're not getting in the way.
Exactly.
Are you gonna try and go for the switch, attack it also? Because you can.
Well, I mean, I guess yeah. If I can do an attack,
Yeah.
I would do it. But if not,
Yeah, no, because it would be half action movement at most.
okay. So I will do that then. I'll take the shot, and am I within a range? Do I get a range bonus?
No, because it's a melee attack. Essentially.
No. I'm not doing a melee attack, and then I'm trying to get behind my people.
Oh, behind your people. Oh,
Yeah.
like going
I'm not-
out. I thought you were trying to get behind it, so you have a meat shield. That's a completely different vibe. Okay. In that case, you are not there. You are this one. If you're doing that, you're gonna run. So yeah, you would get. They're close enough that that's a half action. Although it does get an attack of opportunity on you.
Do
by
I get my
using
dodge for that?
What?
Do I get my dodge for that?
Yeah, because it's a new round. Yes. You would get a dodge.
Okay.
So you're starting running. It's gonna try and do this. Okay. It's gonna roll an attack, and we agreed it needed. Well, it needed less than 83. So, your yeah, it claws at you, but you are out of there. Okay. Yeah, I know. We have a lot of stuff
Oh,
going.
so
Okay.
it failed in 82?
Yeah, so it misses, and you're going, yeah, I would say between all of that, you could get through and behind. It'd probably take a full action move just because
That's
you're
fine.
maneuvering through, but yeah, you're behind them. And it is mad. And
Man, I didn't do anything to it.
other than try to grab it,
That's how we say hello out here.
Being mad is how they say hello in the warp.
Exactly.
yeah, it's a demon of Zeech. It doesn't believe that. Okay. It is going to, let's see, that's your move. It's going to start moving forward. Very slowly, because it's slow and lumbering.
Hmm?
and it can't. Yeah, it only has. Right, it's just gonna start lumbering forward.
And I should have 5 people between me and it.
Oh yeah, you got five guards with las guns. For what that's
Yeah,
worth, las
I've
guns are
seen how
not.
well they use those last guns. That's not. I'm
Actually,
not impressed by that part of the equation.
two. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. If you have the 2-weapon fighter talent, you can 2-weapon wielder talent, you can get 2 attacks.
Well, how come I can't shoot twice, but I can use a weapon twice?
No, you can shoot twice if you have that particular talent. You can take 2 attacks, but at a minus 20 to each of them.
Okay, what is that? What dual wielding does? Or
Did you have the dual wielding talent?
thought it is.
Do you have the talent? Because you can't even do
Talents. Quick draw, lightsaber, melee, and ambidextrous.
No.
Well,
because you were asking about that earlier. If you could wield both.
Right. Well, who made this character?
I think we collaboratively did.
Yeah, I don't know the rules. You can't use me as a good source to make a character.
I mean, you rolled really well for all his stats. To be fair,
I did. Oh, I did, but that doesn't do me any good if you give me like half the stuff I need to do what I need.
I
to
mean,
do.
to be fair, I was less than full on the rules for dual wielding as well. So, but if you guys want it, well, all right. It's going to, it's just going to lumber forward slowly.
Okay.
And that's its turn. Oh, the guards are between you and it, and they're freaked, but they've got this. They think. Sergeant is gonna roll first because she has a higher weapon skill than any of them.
There's nothing to fear. The fear itself.
Yeah,
and
that's
the warp.
Definitely not gonna hit.
It probably works. Dark Elder.
34.
A lot of things to fear.
Oh wait, no, they're taking half an action to aim, so that would it definitely wouldn't help with hers, but it would help. One of them hits. Other one hits. Goodness, they also hits. And no, that's not enough. But that's 3 of them hit. So and a las gun might be more than I thought it would be. Let me get to let me double check these guys, because the las guns are not they get joked about as flashlights, but they do a lot of damage. Here we go. Las gun, basic las gun, D10 plus 3. Yeah, no. So D10 plus 3 is minus 5, and that's on this one, which is no, he might have gotten really lucky. That particular guardsman might have gotten really lucky. Let me just double check that, but I think that the guardsman might have hit it in the head, just by pure happenstance of how these things work.
Wonderful.
Wounds, right. Using that section, if I recall correctly.
Mental note: if I put the guards in danger, their adrenaline will help them focus.
Yeah.
Exactly. Make adrenaline work for you.
Yes.
Science.
Wounding. Injury. There is... No, it's up a little bit, I think. If I recall correctly. Here we go. there we go. Oh, that's a target size modifier. Here we go. Head. Oh, no, right arm. Okay. Not that lucky. But still, the right arm is going to be less than the body. So 8 plus 3. So it does a little bit of damage. It does less than no damage. Less than no damage for that hit. Then, oh, that's even less than, depending on where it hits.
It healed it.
Oh, also that. So,
Well, thank you very much.
yeah, so it takes, so it's down a little bit. It bounces near the other one, and 2 shots ring out. Other one, it needs, well, plus that's not going to do much. Yeah, no, that's not going to do much. Yeah, it's going to ping. You think maybe it did something, but it goes straight into the body, and, yeah. Then the next one is, 4 of them hit, so, yeah, that's not gonna do, even with the tough, yeah, no, that doesn't do any, it hits, but you're pretty sure it doesn't do much. So, it looks like it's loosening up a little bit. Its arm, you can tell, is less than, like, it's definitely taken some damage. You can see it jerk back with, maybe not pain, but it definitely is burning through, on that. So, they did less than no damage. Then, back to the top of the round, you're here. You got 2. One with her leg scarred open. Another who's pretty much her arm has been cut off. And she's definitely in critical. The other is definitely within with heavily. I would say is heavily damaged.
All right. Well, I'll tend to the one who's missing an arm first.
Right.
And go ahead and attempt first aid on them.
Okay. Yeah, they don't look so good. They have, because a few people had las guns, they were doing baseline cauterization, which probably did more damage than even, it probably did extra damage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, definitely in critical.
Okay. I will go ahead and make my Medica roll then.
Mm-hmm.
For with my plus 10%, that's 50 or better.
All right.
I got a 7.
Okay, yeah. You are,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
This is the best streak I've had in a long time.
Yeah, so definitely,
Awesome.
definitely not going to die, just yet.
In fact, I think they grew another arm.
No,
Fair.
but you could put, you could, that would be a whole, I'm not saying you can't fix the arm.
They found the arm and like cauterized it back on.
You could
Just weld it on.
try with the extensive surgery with the neurons and maybe a clone arm. Like you could try that.
He just soldered it back on.
I mean, you could just give her a metal arm if you want.
Oh,
Like you can do a lot of things with duct tape.
Listen, that's going to be an extended care thing. For right now, first aid,
Yeah.
yes. He's definitely not
Just
bleeding out.
stabilizing at this point.
Yeah, it's just stabilization. But yeah. Solid stabilization. I'd say still in the critical zone of, but stable. which is the main thing.
You have been blessed this day, soldier. You will continue to serve the Emperor faithfully, and your service will be marked.
I'm not a soldier. I'm an engineer. I've been learning the warp. I know the warp. I've been working the engines. 30 years now.
Even better then. Your service has obviously given you attention in the eyes of the Omnissiah.
Yeah.
You have distinguished yourself.
And it halfway goes to make the cog sign of the Omnissiah gesture, and just can't do the other arm.
I basically bringing down my little my extender arm. I just help them to make the symbol with the other.
Oh.
Sort of fill it in for them.
Yeah. Omnissiah. Machine spirits. Yeah. So yeah, you save this person's life, and they're very grateful. That brings us to Johann. You're standing
Johann
with
has a plan.
a plan.
This thing's charging at the group of soldiers I have between me and it, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to wait. I'm going to try to time it so that when it crashes into my soldiers, I'm going to sneak around from behind. I'm going to sneak around the group and try again to disconnect it from behind while it's engaged with.
All right. I'll let you hold the action until its turn, just right after yours.
I'm doing the whole. Some of you may die.
Yeah.
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah. They're going to die for the Emperor. Protect the ship. It's going to start moving forward. It's going to lumber forward more. It has a very bad movement rate, so it can't actually attack. But it's going to keep lumbering forward. And you're, they're gonna, they got an extra bonus because it's point blank.
So it hasn't engaged them yet then?
No. It's very slow.
Okay. Oh, well then I'm not going to circle around. I'm going to shoot it in the face.
Okay.
I mean, if I go out there by myself, I'm not really circling around.
I would say because you held it, you couldn't take a turn to aim because it's moving. But I'll say you take half action to aim, but you still get a plus 10 because of close range.
Sure. Ooh, I got a 11.
Yeah, no, that hits.
Not hard to miss.
Yes.
Two ones.
Nice.
All right. And were you were aiming for the head, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't do any good to aim elsewhere if it's got that big.
That's true.
Okay, so and I did much better damage this time. So I got a 6 and a 10 and a 4. So and I get a 4 hit.
Right. So
extra,
it's
right? So
it's
20?
20. And it's a head, so no armor, but the toughness is wow. Okay. That is yeah, that is a lot. It's still up, but it looks like a stiff breeze would knock it over. Unfortunately, there is no breeze on ship in space. So you're counting on
these guys shoot like a stiff breeze, so maybe they'll be able to finish it off.
Yes. And it is their go. The others are gonna these guys are gonna come in around to here. They're gonna start moving in. That's their whole turn though. These guys are gonna start shooting at it. And they got a plus 10 and a plus 30. So that's a plus 40.
Soldiers,
So that,
shoot as if your life depended on it, because it very may will.
yeah, that's a, okay. That's how we'll do that. That's a 7. Yeah. Okay. And oh, that's these guys. 17. Oh wow, these guys are rolling really well. And yeah, that hits. And she got a 44. Okay, so she hits as well. And they're not, if they were wielding heavy bolters, they would get so many extra shots because of all the degrees of success. Unfortunately, they're not Space Marines. So, this one is 40 with...
Yeah, if there were Space Marines and having problems with servitors, I'd be like, you're not really a Space Marine, are you?
No,
Yeah.
but the 6 plus 3 is 7 with the body. It's a 5 plus 5. Nope. I'm not going to do much. This guy also body, but with a 9. Hang on. So it's one of them kind of pulls forward and yeah, that's, hang on, that's 9. That's 12. That's 7, and body is only, yeah. It's enough. Just kind of pulls it right in the middle, but it's a really good shot, and it just kind of topples backward and clanks.
Okay, I will order the soldiers to pick up the servitor now that it's been decommissioned,
Yeah.
and we'll bring this to the good doctor so that he may put it to further use for the Empire.
Okay. Imperium, sure. They grab it, start dragging, you follow, and they all look a little shaken up. This thing is scary, and it was right next to them, but they held fast, and between the two of you guys, the you and them, the 6 of you, you managed to get it to work.
I apologize for the shape this one's in, Cutter, but it kind of required me to shoot it right in the head.
Yeah. So yeah, as you're pulling them along, are you going to try another first aid test on this poor
Yes,
older
since
man
we have
whose
one
leg has been
one
sliced
more.
open?
Yeah, hopefully this one will be easier to take care of.
Yes.
But yes, I'll go ahead and go to them.
Hang on, is it critically or heavily that you get, or is it only lightly damaged that you get the...
If it is,
Hang on.
let's see. For lightly damaged, it's your intelligence bonus
So
amount of damage that's removed, and it's
it's
1 from heavily or critically damaged.
heavy or critical, yeah. So it's heavy, so that would be, but if you make the test,
Okay. Then I will go for that. Again, trying to get 50 or better, I believe. Yeah, I knew my luck would have to run out sooner or later. I got 86. So that was a failure.
yeah. So you try it, and she's going into shock, and the other guy's holding her back, and you pull on one of the nerves, and she starts spasming. And
This is less than optimal. Unforeseen complication here.
yeah, so you almost get kicked in the face, but don't, because yeah, you managed to not get kicked in the face by the other flailing leg as she's spasming, and the soldier's kind of got her arms, or not soldier, he's maintenance worker probably. He's got some sort of technical jumpsuit on, but like this is not a soldier. This is a tech guy, essentially.
Heck, I will need you to hold her firmly.
Okay. And he's doing it, and yeah, she takes 1 wound worth of damage, but which is gonna put her in critical at this point. which means if you fail the next one, all right. Well, one more time.
You want me to go ahead and roll again?
Yes, roll again.
All right.
She's knocked into critical, but because she wasn't critical the first time, she's not dead quite yet. But
Okay. There we go. Okay, I got a 31.
okay,
So that should do
yeah.
it.
So it's going to take a lot longer for her to recover. But she's not going to die essentially. And
Very good. Very good. Technician, she will live after all.
oh, good. You don't expect to see her. You know, we worked together I only got full clearance 5 years ago, so, and she doesn't do the training, so, but we've been 5 years. It's a long time.
Well, if she continues to mend, then she will surely serve for many more years. Make certain that she is taken to the infirmary for further treatment.
Yeah. And he kind of hefts her up, and someone comes forward, and you saved. They're my cousin, and I here, kind of takes the other, the one who's missing the arm, and he kind of holds them up. I'll get him to the infirmary.
Excellent. I am entrusting them to your care then.
Yeah.
Please see to it they are taken care of. I'm certain the staff will welcome you when you arrive.
Okay.
And you may fully appraise them of the situation when you arrive there.
Right. Okay. And as they're kind of milling around, Katya gets one of the soldiers to kind of help her get her sister up as well. And everything is fine, more or less. You guys are a little worse for wear. No one died, at least.
By our standards, everything is fine.
Yeah. You're down 3 servitors, a couple people missing limbs, but
what's a few servitors?
Yeah, you can probably get them. Now, 2 of them are dead by headshot, so that is going to take some major reconstruction work if you want them back online. The other, as soon as you double check that he's free of chaos, can be reinstated at some point. But
Cutter, I'm not familiar with the process of demonic servitor, but are we going to be able to bring them back without risk of? Are they fixable?
I feel confident that we can expunge any demonic influence that might remain behind. I believe we can cleanse it of heresy. I do expect, of course, that it is likely our representatives of the ecclesiarchy will want to check in and make sure for themselves.
Yeah, you have a couple of, and there's always a bitter. Some of the other explorators are hardcore tech, and they Omnisaya, and they're less than sold on the Omnisaya's emperor, so they're very much opposed to. They don't like the fact that the ecclesiarchy is so stringent on making sure they're cleansed before you can put them back in service. And it's been a fight before. The last time there were servitor possession, but
I'm certain there will be an entire battery of tiresome and endless, pointless tests that they will have to perform, but that is not my concern.
Now, it's easier for you to fix them if they've taken like arm wounds and leg wounds and head wounds.
The flesh is weak and can be replaced.
So, okay, I'll get on the bead, as we call it, and I'll talk to the person above me.
Odette,
right?
Yeah.
Odette, and I'll say, Odette, if we're going to be in the warp for much longer, I would recommend arming some of these guards with something a little bit of heavier potency than these las guns that these guys are using. They barely made a dent on these servitors. We may need, if we need to do this again, we have to be prepared to do
Yeah.
Be much more
And
efficient at what we do.
yeah, and to be fair, Odette is not necessarily above per se. It's just she's the central communication hub.
Oh, okay. Well, so do I have the power to
Yeah,
work
I would
with it?
say you would be able to you don't have a lot of you could get them an upgrade to um you would have to get to a planet, but depending on what you wanted to do, you'd probably be able to upgrade them to what else could you? Like a Hellgun. Yeah, Lucis Patter Hellgun would do extra +1, and has and can do a 3-shot burst too. So they can try that.
I'm not sure. Are there melee weapons that do more damage? That are
Melee?
on the
Melta,
ship?
Plasma, Flame.
Because if we run the risk of doing this every time we go through the warp, we're going to want to have.
Yeah, that's true. It's a very small risk. It's only happened like twice before.
It's happened 1-for-1 so far. That's 35% for me.
Yeah, on this particular trip through the warp. But, no, that's the weird, melee. Here we go. Melee weapons? Let's see. Well, if you get them a chain axe, you could do chain axes, average. Yeah, that's, chains. Yeah, a chain axe might be the best one you could actually.
Okay, I have a different idea. Perhaps you're able to help use this, Cutter. Now these guys all
Yes.
have a switch that can turn them off, right?
Yes, the kill switch.
Is there a way to implement remote kill switches into the gentlemen?
Not impossible. It would be finicky, but you probably could. It would take some doing. It'd be a project.
That could be arranged. We could arrange for that operation to be performed. It would be not entirely reliable.
But even if it's partially reliable, it's more cost efficient than having to reassemble these gentlemen, and
Point
with
taken.
all the damage that they cause in the process.
Point taken. I suppose that would be a worthwhile program to start.
Yeah, well, if you can, I'd be appreciative, and I'll pass along the ingenuity of your department to the captain. Would be most impressed by it.
I will record that upon my data slate and add it to my roster of projects.
All right.
Excellent.
After that, things for the next few days, most of them are, you're doing extended care to kind of ease these guys along. But they're critically damaged, so it's going to take time, like months of rehab, and then prosthetics fitting for, but in the meantime, the warp happens. It's only 2 weeks. Farah and I rolled really well. She's got this pat for the trip. However, you still have a week left in the warp. That can't be helped.
Right. I was going to say, I haven't rolled yet.
Yeah.
That was one roll.
One roll, yes. It did go a little long. Possessed servitors tend to go a little longer than usual. But,
we're going to have to rename this Adventures in the Warp.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
right.
thinking, yeah, you're probably not going to have much chance. But then if we run another secondary one-shot, and you're both there, and then they might put together a different team to go down that would include you and others as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm up with it.
I'm absolutely down with that.
All right. Scheduling's going to be difficult, but
Yeah, as it always is with gaming.
yes. But yeah, what's your warp roll? How?
Oh, I guess it's time for me to make my warp roll. Let's see.
Yeah.
Got a 42.
Oh. Wow.
Life, the universe, and everything.
Yes, and it's also one of the I think there's 5 maybe % chance that nothing goes wrong. And 42 is one of those.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes.
Nice.
The other week is relatively uneventful. No weird ghosts, no weird dreams, no demonic possessions. Everything chugs along. The damage to the
All right. Johan doesn't like this at all. He is like
On edge.
I know he's like looking around. He's making sure like nothing's happened. Okay, check all the storage bins again. Check new patrols.
There's got to be something I'm missing.
I know.
Yeah. But yes, you do slowly but surely emerge outside of Raoh. So, a little bit of background on Raoh. It is a agricultural agri-world, as it were. It was settled about 80 years ago by a rival rogue trader, who is still alive because rejuvenant treatments are a thing. So it's been a while. But it is mostly water. The surface is about 80 to 90% water. And it is... actually, I have notes on this planet.
Is it safe for people water?
Yeah. So, okay, it's salt water, but the almost the entire planet is deep. There's a lot of deep. The entire, not the entire thing, but a large chunk of their industry. There are 2 distinctive industries on this planet. One of which is orbit-based agriculture. Because there's natural fungus that grows in the upper atmosphere, and basically it grows in vacuum. So
wow. Interesting.
They've got that going. They've been trying to get it to work on other planets, but it's slow going. But there's a huge harvest colony around this particular planet. It's complicated with them. They are loyal to the Imperium, but they're not controlled by the Administratum. Not directly controlled. The base planet is under the direct control of the that's a whole thing. That's a very good reason. That is a fun little thing. That's why this hasn't spread. That is interesting. Right. It has a unique property that makes it difficult to spread. There's this huge, big desalination effort, and they a lot of it's powered by cracking hydrogen from the local the gas giant, like 2 planets over, which does produce water. So that's actually a good way to cycle it. The water gets shipped off planet. That's what they do. They export water.
Okay.
Because hive worlds, with their teeming billions, even if they reclaim 90% of the water, it doesn't, especially because humans, if you ship humans off of a planet, you actually lose the water content. Fun fact. And if you cremate, that does destroy some of the water. Some of it becomes, and you can, water reclamation only works so much in a less than enclosed environment. So a lot of hive worlds, they import water as part of their to their billions to trillions, depending on exactly how hivey the world is. It's some push 100 billion. Trying to calculate the exact population it keeps, basically they need water as part of their thing. So this planet does provide water. It's a water export planet. Now, you know that the, what was I going to say? The distress call,
They had said they had a plague, right?
yes, they have not called, so there's no travel between the surface and the habitats, which means that, there's a semi-legal trade going on between them. So there's Throne's Pride, and there's a handful of other, so you can't land on any of the islands. There's not enough room. They don't have proper, landing a flyer there would be difficult at best. Not impossible, but difficult. If you want to go in, you go into the city. Throne's Pride. It's about the size of, say, Nantucket, and it contains exactly one big city, which is the Administratum headquarters, and, barracks for a lot of the water harvesting. A lot of the smaller islands are inhabited by smaller substations, and and you have algae production as well on several, because they don't trust the people in orbit, so they need another food source. So 90% of the diet consists of algae, and then high up administrators can import whatever foods they want from interstellar trade. But 90% of the population is subsisting on algae. And yeah, so the plague, from what you know, the distress call was from a remote processing station that does mostly algae and not a lot of desalination work on the kind of exactly opposite the planet. Not exactly opposite of Throne's Pride, but far enough away that it's difficult to get to. They don't ship, they probably don't even get flyers there. They don't have any way to land, because it's almost the entire thing is this big vat, and then housing kind of clung to the outside, networks of housing for the workers who run the algae tanks, and so there's probably no way to land a shuttle there. They ship all their algae by boat, so getting in is going to be difficult at best. And the Administratum doesn't know you're coming, because they sent it out. They sent this distress call. Now, here's an interesting thing. Having an astropath on an island like that is, in and of itself, unusual. But when you calm down, when you communicate down to the Throne's Pride and the Administratum, they have no idea you're coming. They have no idea about the plague. They have no idea about what's going on. So, you have an island that shouldn't have an astropath, sending out an astropathic message specifically requesting your ship to come and help them with a plague. Then you have that they didn't tell anyone. The Administratum does have two astropaths. One of them does say that they did relay the message, but they hadn't realized it was coming from close when asked. But maybe I shouldn't tell you that. But essentially, no one on the main island knows what the deal with this is. And when you calm down, they say, "Why is a rogue trader in our orbit? We'd not requested anything." Whatever you might say. And yeah. So that's thing. And now you're worried about this plague, and that the fact that they didn't tell the Administratum, and certain plagues, while it's an isolated community, certain plagues are airborne and capable of spreading far. It depends on the disease, and you don't know what it is.
Right.
So, and communications, well, yeah. So you have a remote island on this planet that wasn't expecting you, that no one knows what's your plan. The two of you could get sent down because you're the doctor. So they're like, get to here, assess the situation, and then we can figure out, while everyone else is figuring out that. And they'll offer you some security, including your Johann, because you two have proven to work well together. And you can take any other NPCs. Basically, you have an entire ship full of anyone you need. Any specialists. There's a lot of people there. There's bound to be someone who can do whatever you need them, task you need. So the question is, you can take up to... let's see, there's 2 of you in the flyer, right? Plus the pilot, that's 3. So you have 7, you can take up to 7 other people. You can take Anna Verbank and a couple of her people, you can take medical assistants, you can take... Nurse Joy can just come, she's very small, so she doesn't count against your total. And she's obviously going to come, but whoever else you want to take, what's your plan?
All right. So let's see. So there's me, there's Johann, and the pilot. And then beyond that, I assume each of us will probably want to have at least one personal assistant.
Yeah.
In Johann's case, I imagine some sort of lieutenant. For myself, I probably will want someone who I know is particularly familiar with contagion. So I can have an expert to consult on that.
One of your best contagion people, who actually was able to contain a pretty nasty plague that got on board last time you were in last time you went down to a planet. She was able to, kind of deal with that. Someone brought back something pretty nasty. Nothing bad happened per se. A couple people died, and then you're able to get it under control. Mostly, the 2 people who died were both over 80. So, it was a weakened immune system thing. And one infant died as well, but so it's but the point being, she's the one who can figured out how it spread and shut it down. So that would be not Dr. Eloine Keynes. Essentially, she was studying on a civilized world to be a doctor, and then things went sideways, and she was denied the degree for reasons that were not entirely had nothing to do with her skill level or proficiency, but she was denied full medical license because of unrelated circumstances that got out of hand, and so they call her not Dr. Keynes. She was specializing in epidemiology, in fact, and yeah, so you have Dr. Keynes.
Okay. I'm going to need a moment away from the keyboard, so I will allow Johann to use the other 2.
Yeah.
If that works. All right. I will be right back.
Okay. Cool. So, yeah, we should have done a break, I think. But yeah. So you have that makes 4 total. Because you got you and the pilot and Dr. Kurosawa and Eloine Keynes. So, you have, and we're probably going to wrap the session up but soon, but first, so this is what, you get to have 6 others. You get 6 people, you can put soldiers, med techs. There's a number of those. They would be helpful if it's a large population. The island, when you hear about it, is about 100, maybe. So if you have 100 patients, having extra med techs might be useful. On the other hand, maybe there's something going on, given the circumstances. You might want soldiers. Sergeant Verbank is a good second in command. She's solid. She was there with you the first time when you went to the Grelth and dealt with that. And she was running around when you fought the servitors, so... And I have stats for her. So that's helpful. But yeah, she has full stats, and...
Well, if each of us takes one assistant,
right.
and I guess I'm taking Burbank.
Yeah.
At least 5 people.
Right.
And I would like to get one extra assistant for the doctor.
Okay. One med tech.
And then 2 melee specialists and 2 gun specialists.
Okay.
Not las bolters.
You want someone with with a sniper or something.
Right.
Okay. Let's see what we can do with that. I would say, oh wow, that's some really good stuff. Okay. Interesting. The shock weapons are cool, but they don't do... Oh, they have shock extra electrical powers and stuff. But no pen, huh? No, pen is not good. Oh, do lasguns have pen? If lasguns had pen, then... I have to check something. I might have missed... Oh, wow. Okay, plasmas are... someone could have a flamer, if you think. That might be useful.
What's the range on a flamer?
Flamers are flame weapons. Hand flamer would be 10 meters.
No, that's not very useful at all.
Well, like I said, it's a... Well, you could get one that's 20 meter range.
Actually, the flamer sounds like a good idea. Have one guy with a flamer, one guy with a ranged weapon, like a gun, not a sniper, and then 2 melee guys.
Okay.
Because
So
if we're dealing with disease, we could be dealing with a Nurgle infestation.
Ooh, yes. That would be... Yeah. So you got one expert on the one with the flamer. Let's see. What do we got? Stub of Navy... Oh, bolt. Yeah, well... You're not going to have anyone with a heavy bolter. You don't have any Space Marines. Oh, a long las. Yeah. So you want someone with a mid-range, not a sniper?
Right.
Okay. And you do have...
Well, I mean, if we need if we have to use a lasbolt, that's fine. Because I mean, unless we're fighting guys with heavy armor, should be fine, I guess.
Yeah. So you have you can scrape together 2 Hellguns, which have a property. If you take a full action, you can do a burst, and
Okay.
you can do bursts, and they do an extra point of damage. So you can scrape together a handful of them. There's not enough to go around, but you can scrape together 2 and give them Hellguns. And you want 2 and 1 with a flamer and 1 melee, or...
Okay, I'm going to look at the guys with the hellguns.
Yeah.
Well, what's better, a bolter or a hellgun?
A bolter takes 2 people.
Okay, not a bolter. What am I looking at?
A bolt pistol?
Yeah, a bolt pistol or a hellgun.
A bolt pistol... I mean, Commissar, you guys get bolt pistol. How would any of us, like, maybe we got a couple spares, but bolt pistol...
No. I'm asking which is better, the gun that they have or the gun that I have.
The
hellgun or the bolt pistol, which one's better?
Almost certainly, bolt pistol. Yeah, bolt pistol does... it's a D10 plus 5. Okay. Yeah, it has tearing and it has tearing. That's a useful thing.
With the bolt pistol?
Yeah, it has tearing.
I thought it did 2d10 plus 4.
I mixed that up. But the tearing is the big one. That means that you can re-roll the d10s to see if you can get a better roll on the d10.
Oh, okay.
So, you can re-roll 1d10. And the other one, dang, I didn't apply the rules properly. I forgot about the important thing that would have probably let you kill the servitor, actually, if I had applied it properly. But
how often do we get new things in this game?
Depends on when, in terms of, like, physical weapons on the ship.
No, I meant, like, how do you improve your skills and how do you get new
if I were to start giving you XP, then you could simply, it's base level characters. So if I started giving you XP, and I would give you both XP for this and I guess last session, what you could then do would be, I would say, like, probably, oh, dang, sorry,
Sorry.
yeah, I could
Nothing
give
important.
you, no, I could give you, roughly, I could say 700 for the last one and maybe 800 for this one because there were fewer of you and you had to fight. Yeah. So if then you go to the, I'll get you a copy of the core rulebook, and essentially you can then, there are certain, how you would do it is you go and there are different improvements you can get based on your career path, and yours would be Archmilitant, and as a
I need to get the ability to shoot two guns. Apparently I'm like almost there.
So that would be I believe if it doesn't come with it would be a probably a second tier power, so you would have to get well, let me look at the character advancement for Archmilitant.
We don't need to do this now.
No, but yes, if I started giving you experience points, you could work your way up to grabbing the talent, and getting the two dual wielding.
Okay.
And I if you want, if that was something, because I was hoping to do more of these, and I was thinking about this. I was like, I should start giving people experience points if we're going to do more. And I
Sure.
Johan gets, and he would get latest 16. So
interesting. According to the rule book, the dual shot talent only becomes available at rank 4.
Yes. So, yeah, you would have to get all the way up to rank 4. So, yeah, it would be a thing. You'd have to work your way up the ranks and gain other talents and skills along the way. But
well, good news is I have 2 bolt pistols for whenever that next day comes.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like one on the side. Someday, buddy. Someday you're coming out.
Someday.
Yes.
Now there's so I also mentioned there's another talent called 2 weapon wielder, which is a prerequisite for that. Is there a difference between the two?
I believe 2 weapon wielder gives you, I think it's a minus 20. Hang on. Let's see. I think it's a minus 20 to each shot, and then if you get the more advanced one, you would be able to do it without taking the 2.
Okay. Yeah. So you would get 2 weapon wielder talent at rank 2, which gives you the lower penalty, and then at rank 4 you can get dual shot, which apparently gets rid of the penalty altogether.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's a minus 20 on each shot. Now you're ambidextrous, so you don't get any more than that. And I think if you weren't, you get a minus 10 on your offhand. but
Additionally, and again, not terribly important, what's your agility right now?
She's at 39 or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. You also you want to get that up to 40. So that's the other prerequisite for dual shot. Not that that's necessarily relevant right now, but
true. But yeah, you can bump it up by 10 or by 5 with a certain amount of XP very easily. But yes, so you have given the thing you have suggested. So you have 1, and you have 2 is Andre Colton, who is a med tech and an extra hand on that. Then you have 3 and 4 are troops with las guns. And you said Anna, you want Anna Verbank to come along?
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
they're not all lasgun. We have four troops with us.
Yes, with hell guns. They have a
2 with hell guns, 1 with a melee weapon, and 1 with a flamer.
Okay. So
Yes, Cutter, I believe that a flamer may come in handy if we run into any if it turns out that this plague is assisted by warp infestation creatures.
I concur. It would also be useful, yes, for purifying an area of plague, hopefully.
If this plague it would also help if this plague turns out to be orc spores too.
Exactly what? Maybe not orcs.
What's that?
I'll just say that you might not be orcs. Just saying.
I don't know that. I'm just
right. There are layers to this whole mess.
It may be helpful if there are layers to this.
Exactly who is pulling what strings? Yes.
We may be up against an onion.
So you have that's 7 and other hellgun. And I'm guessing you're giving your melee specialist a chain axe.
Yes.
Or a chainsaword. Anything else?
Yes.
Well, I mean, if you had power.
Can they get a backup las gun?
Yeah, I absolutely could get a backup. Even a hell gun if you want, with the extra damage and the burst.
Sure. Okay, so we got 3 guys with hell guns, 1 with a chain axe, and then we have another guy who's a flamer.
Yep, and okay. So, you guys are the question is, did I give the pilot a name?
I did mention that I brought along an extra assistant for you, right?
Yes, the med tech.
Not for you. You're the DM.
I know, for Kurosawa, who is the med tech, and I'll be quiet.
Okay, let's have a complete list of our complement.
Yes, so you have Dr. Elowen Keynes, almost doctor, epidemiology expert, Andre Colton, a med tech, one of the better ones, competent, knows how to handle situations, keeps a calm head under pressure, for the most part. You have Sergeant Anna Verbank, one of your seconds, kind of solid leader, knows what she's doing. You have who do you have? Andel Theric and Luna Oliveran. Yeah, you have 2 people with hell guns. You have 2 soldiers with hell guns. You have Harlan Corden, who is melee specialist, has an axe, and Nolan Borm, who has the flamer. He's a little he's dependable. He's not full on, but he does like fire an awful lot. And that he's been cleared in terms of mental fitness, but a little on the weird side and definitely into fire. Which is a quality you want in someone who wields a flamer, which is why he's trained in it. But yeah, so you have 7 plus the pilot, and he's solid guy, knows what he's doing, and you 2, and that's 10,
Right.
and that's all that'll fit in the flyer. And Nurse Joy,
Of course.
yeah, she
As always.
bobbles along. Yeah, you got all of you, and you are headed down. So, from what you know about this island, it is. Yeah, so the message didn't come with a specific astropath, but there was definitely an astropath there to send it, which means figuring out who sent it might be useful. The only way to get to this island would be to land the flyer and go by a boat, essentially. So, yeah, you guys do touch down. I will say this. You pack everyone in. You touch down in the main flyer pad in the Thrones Pride, which is the name of the city and the name of the island. It's kind of like New York situation that way. So,
Right.
in the city of Thrones Pride, you have a main landing port, which is a handful of. It's mostly hydrogen-based shuttles that take off and ferry stuff up and down to orbit. Where they have the big ships, and you've seen the ships. You're in orbit with them. They're none of them on scans look particularly suspicious. They're all just the regular old merchant ships, going back and forth. Pretty standard stuff. Captains get a stipend, They're government contractors for the Administratum. Not glamorous, but steady. And so they're, none of them seem suspicious, particularly. There is one in orbit. Well, anyway. But yeah, you. There is another ship in orbit. I will say this. This other
big
ship
ship or little ship?
is unmarked. Has the build of a merchant vessel, but doesn't have the tankage that the water carriers have when you do the scan. So you're not sure what their sitch is. But
Wasn't the ship that we met last time the exact same thing?
that was the mercenary ship, and
But
the mercenary ship was not responding to hail, so you could try, and that it's not the same ship. You know that from your scans. So it isn't the same mercenary
respond to
company.
hails?
What?
It did not respond to hails?
The mercenary ship didn't. Are you going to try? You have
That
comms people,
strikes
so you
me
can get them
as
to try and.
unusual, and considering that we have, our charter, I would imagine we could call upon the authority of the Emperor to demand that they respond.
Yeah. So are you going to ask? You haven't, as far as I know, hailed any of these ships right now. So are you going to ask? Hail all of the captains and ask them to demand, or just
to
the
be
one
honest,
that's weird?
is that what we need to do? We're on a different mission. I'm sure they have people
Yeah.
who would have
Okay.
done that above, right?
Yeah. So they would have looked to you though and asked it because this is. All right. Yeah. So I'll say that your comms people hailed all the ships. The one vessel, the tanker crews were all kind of as expected, annoyed that there's a rogue trader, but they're trying to be. They have this weird, they don't like that there's a rogue trader there. It makes them nervous, but they're also very different. Like rogue traders, they don't,
They
And so they're all about what you'd expect from tanker captains. The last one, when hailed, was answered by a young one who claimed to have rogue trader status herself, or at least
Really?
acting on behalf of a rogue trader. Now, from what the conversation sounded, very young, little bit of nervous tenor, and she did not specify that she was a rogue trader, merely that she was acting on behalf of a rogue trader. That's slightly different. So the reason your ship is all of the ships in the Helm Show fleet have one of a descendant of the main guy on board, so that they get proper warrants, full warrant of trade, which is what makes rogue traders rogue traders. You have to have a warrant, and it's passed heretically. So, and there's a whole process by which you can expand out and give your kids the warrants, even if you're still alive. And they have that's how it's been done. So there's a whole fleet of them. There's a few. That's how other fleets will have merchant ships attached kind of loosely, where they don't have anyone who has a warrant on board, but they're kind of attached to the retinue. They usually travel in fleets, though. They'll travel, the ships will travel together, so that the rogue trader has extra backup firepower in case of naval battles or problems. Having a ship acting on behalf of a rogue trader that's not attached to a larger contingent is unusual. And since no one on board would have to have a warrant of trade, that's not really possible to verify per se, unless you were to send them and demand which rogue trader, and then send an astropathic message and confirm that. But they're also not particularly well armed. A handful of basic stuff that might take down an orc ship if necessary, maybe. They're defensive and not great.
Well, how many people would be on that ship? Like, if ours has 26,000.
It's a fairly small ship, so maybe 15,000. It's a.
Oh, so it's still a size. I mean.
Oh yeah, no. Imperial ships are big. It's definitely an actual warp ship. Warp capable ships aren't. There's no warp capable flyers. You have to have like a ship to get into the warp, and the jump drives required are huge, and it requires so you're looking at a couple hundred minimum for like a small naval frigates that can, the small, maybe not frigates, but the small dodgy ones, and usually they don't even have, those guys don't even have navigators. They're skimming. So
Johann, forgive me for speaking out of turn, but based upon my experiences in my previous life as a highborn member of society, I would urge caution in any interactions involving representatives of another rogue trader. There are, of course, questions of legality, and I would never think of anything negative about our own lady captain, but such people are known to be quite treacherous. So I would exercise caution, or advise it. Obviously, this is more your purview than mine. But
yeah, you also haven't verified the rogue trader claim.
Well, that's exactly where I was going. Is that having dealt with less than upstanding individuals in my past, my sensors are going off that it seems very odd that there's a call to plague here, and while at the same time nobody seems to know about it, and we have a mysterious ship with a rogue trader with no rogue trader aboard that we know of.
There is still a great deal of missing data that we must fill in.
I think we should start by inquiring with the ship, because if a plague has this started on this planet, it most likely, I would think it would have come from elsewhere.
Do
And
you wish to keep the existence of this plague secret from the other rogue trader in order to not give away our hand? If this communication is not known to them,
how much do you really think it would matter if they knew that we knew that there was a plague? Because unless
it might not matter at all. But I am simply thinking of the cards we have been dealt and how we might play them.
Yeah. Also, there's no guarantee that this is where the plague came from.
Oh no, but it is a mystery and a most.
It is a possible vector.
At the very minimum, we should find out what other faction we're dealing with here, and whether it's a small fleet or a big fleet, one that we need to be careful around.
I would concur with that.
So I will ask our contact agent to politely ask this other ship who their rogue trader is, as we do not want to infringe upon any claims that their rogue trader might already have.
No, not him. I'm trying to remember, because I know exactly which rogue trader sent them, or at least which rogue trader is in they're in the purview of, and I didn't, okay, that's the head of the mercenaries. Genda.
Genda?
A rogue trader by the name of Genda, Elmar Genda, specifically.
Genda.
Elmar, I'll put it in the Discord chat specifically so you guys can see. You know that his family and the Helmschul family are you would know that they have beef, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
This
with our commander?
Yes, with your captain. Their families have been at odds for a couple generations over one thing or another. Also, you would know that this is the captain who allegedly hired the mercenaries, who were on the planet that, the mercenaries on the planet, on the Growth. The mercenaries from Growth were hired.
The ones that we shot up?
Yep.
So we again. Well, that makes things a little more complicated.
Yes. Also, I had scheduled the session to run for 3 hours.
Okay.
And it is, I feel like we should wrap the session up soon. But then things got out of hand.
We're at a pretty good point right now, aren't we?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Just about to.
So, but yeah, you're in a good. So, things are getting out of hand. You know that, when you go through warp travel, it does tend to get.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. No.
Oh no, I thought it was great.
Time.
It's all part of what happens.
Yes,
you
and then
play to find out
you
what happens, as they
scrape
say.
together another player for the other session, you might be able to get more hands on deck and.
Yeah, that would be great.
But yes, so that's where we'll cut this one off. I would say sometime late May, early June, we'll try for another one, which would be very exciting.
Yeah.
And yes, the Raoh mystery, part 1. I'll have to amend it to part 1. So yeah, you guys.
Raoh mystery, the beginning.
The ship is there. The ship is in orbit. You are prepared for what may come. Now, how this is going to play out?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that would have been nice to know before we launched on a ship. They're not going to just shoot us out of the sky, are they?
No. No one would dare shoot a rogue trader. Even if this other this other ship, they're not. Yeah, no Imperial ship is going to shoot at a rogue trader, especially if with a warrant to trade. No one's going to shoot.
I imagine if he does decide to move against this, he'll probably find a proxy to do it on his behalf.
Yeah, or even so, it would be like a big naval, like a big ship-to-ship, like this one small subsidiary ship who doesn't even have anyone with a warrant on board, not gonna try for, probably wasn't even expecting you to show up, honestly.
Excellent. I like
what
that.
are we allowed to do because they don't have a warranty?
You can just kill. Yeah, you could shoot them out of the sky. Now it would increase how much this other drug would act against you, and it would be probably imprudent and to do so. And it, if you shoot too many Imperial ships down, the Inquisition starts getting suspicious, and so yeah, and that's about, as a rogue trader, the two. If you piss off a contingent of Space Marines, or you get the attention of the Inquisition, that's basically the only legal Imperial forces that can act against you. Now, heretic forces that just do their own thing, alien, Xenos, any independent factions that might exist, they're all fair game, and they may or may not move against you. But in terms of actual Imperial, other rogue traders are always... It's always
Did they act against us by using those mercenaries to attack?
Possibly, although it was more of they didn't, it was a subtle dig, if that were the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it's one of those situations where we would actually have to prove that he was directly responsible for ordering them to attack us.
Yes. And
Sure.
Like to a representative of the Administratum or something.
That would
argue it in court,
kind
basically.
of, yeah, if you sent up a court, they'd probably be like, well, that's a deal between you two. Deal with it. Yeah, they don't,
Right.
They generally don't get involved. So,
Right.
but it's also a matter of, well, you might need them to watch your back if you find some particularly powerful Xenos, or also it's not a good habit to get into if you want to, keep the Inquisition off your back, and it's a subtle dance in terms of fights between rogue trader houses.
Right.
So, technically, we're not supposed to have Johann leading the expedition because that's not.
Yeah,
what he does.
because you're attached to a ship
No, he
with a rogue
doesn't.
trader, you're acting full authority. A whole
Basically anything that we do, we're basically doing it under the name of Our Lady Captain. So if we screw up, we're kind of tarnishing her reputation.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That they shouldn't have sent. I mean, like Johann is not my character's not. He has like 0 fellowship.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Trust you.
He's
It's
got, like,
fine.
nothing because he's a military guy, who he has like 0 diplomacy either. I mean, like his fellowship is like 32 or something like that.
Never fear. If there is any interlocution that's required, I'm right here.
Yeah, that's true.
Excellent.
They're more sending you down to keep in case there's trouble, because it's suspicious enough that there's probably going to be trouble.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good fellowship, so if necessary, I can try and do
Yes.
diplomacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cutter makes up for all the lack of intelligence, willpower.
With my
Fellowship.
soothing robot voice.
It's, it's
I mean,
something
yeah,
about
you can
how
mod out
steady he is.
the
You
vocal
know,
mods however you want. They can sound however you want. They can.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can mod vocal boxes. Most of them. I mean, there's only so much you can mod. Like it will sound a little
Sure,
mechanical,
sure.
but it could sound more like GLaDOS than
That would be awesome.
yeah. You could sound like GLaDOS. You could sound like
Yeah,
Hal. You could
because
sound yeah.
yeah, because Cutter would I think he would enjoy maybe doing something like that, probably sounding a lot like a GLaDOS sort of voice. But as a member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, they would be very unlikely to try and closely model a human voice because
No.
that's really getting
Yeah.
close to like silica animus heresy kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it would be, but it would definitely be, you can change mechanical voices to sound different or, you know,
Yeah.
there's interesting modulations you can do.
you could change your voice to sound like Arnold in the Terminator.
Perfect. We all sound like that.
All right.
It's
So,
human-ish.
No, I'm here to help. Come with me if you want to live.
It's human-ish, so it's
Yeah, exactly. It's an approximation of human speech.
yeah. And most people are not used to tech priests who are nice to them, so it kind of.
Yep.
Tech priests are. Well, they're not, they don't act against the will of the Emperor or harm Imperial citizens generally.
But we're a little off-putting to look at, I imagine, and
Yeah.
probably talked
Unusual.
about a little
Yeah.
weird. And we get pretty deep into the technical,
Yes.
borderline heretical.
Yeah. But also, yeah, tech priests are
Secret
generally
lore.
kind of brusque and to the point, and you notice that too with a lot of fellow tech priests who come from more like Forge worlds. They're used to other tech priests, and they don't have the social skills of someone who.
Precisely. Yeah, I'm from
society.
Highborn stock, so I know how to talk to people.
Yeah. All right. So, these have been my players. You guys can, I guess, go down. So start with Jeff. If you want to push anything, how would people
I'm
find
good.
you? What else do you do? What else, anything you want to tell the people, the few people we have watching. We have a handful. About yourself and how cool you are.
My name's Jeff, and I'm really cool. Just take my word
Awesome.
for it. Just take my word for it.
Yeah.
Cool guy, Jeff.
All right. And Mystery.
Hi, Mystery Cycle. My name's Devin, and you can find me online on ArtStation under Mystery Cycle, where I have my art portfolio. I
Cool.
sometimes do a freelance illustration.
That's really
And
cool.
that is my only pluggable, really. So,
That's cool. Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't
and,
realize how good of an artist you were.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I've got more stuff there. I can put a link in the chat.
Yeah. And we can spread it. I can put it out in the Discord and oh yes, the stream Discord. So I'm Lee, Lhawk99, and we stream other stuff. If you're watching the VOD later, this won't be much help, but we do all sorts of cool stuff. Sometimes Rogue Trader world building, which is where this started, is just we built planet after planet and character after character, and then I was like, we're not going to we should use this for something. So I invited some people, some friends to come, some really cool people to come play. And oh, cool. Yes, this is our Discord. Let me yeah, that's the Discord. If you want to come to the stream Discord, hang out, talk world building. I promise one cool meme a day, but otherwise it does vary. Depends on what people are into. But yeah. So thank you all for coming to the stream, the few of you we have. And if you're watching, oh hey, we have a new follower. Grasherzia. Someone
nice.
cool new followed. I didn't
Excellent.
notice at mid-stream that I... So hi, welcome if you're still here. Welcome to the tribe, So yeah, we are a cool thing, and I will see you all. I'm gonna stream again. Probably not until Tuesday or Wednesday next week, honestly. But yeah, definitely soon. And yeah, all right. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks for running the game, Lee.
Thank you very much, guys. Had a great time. Thank you very much for the game, Lee, and
Yeah.
good to see you again, Devin.
Oh, let's see. We have Phoenix is up. Phoenix Iwaki, another great dungeon master who probably fewer people are watching us because they're also doing a new campaign. But I would suggest raiding into him. Let's do it. All right. So come along and see Phoenix, who's also really cool. They're running a D&D game. Spelljammer, actually. Yes, they're running Spelljammer. So why don't we come along and do that? Cool beans. All right. Come along. Let's do it. And then I'll end the stream as soon as I know that the raid's done. And then... Raid goes through, raid goes through, raid goes... Just make sure, because sometimes the raids get wonky and I want to make sure it goes... Yep,